hello and good evening to tonight's coverage of the High Grand Finals ozfortress for this current autumn season. I am Tal. Joining me today is Dante. And we've got a potentially long game ahead of us, Dante. You excited?
I'm really excited. I'm pretty intimate with both these teams. I've scrimmed with one of them and I've scrimmed against the other one. I think it'll be really close, or it'll be a quick stomp in potentially either direction.
Do you care to elaborate on that a little bit? What do you mean a quick stomp?
So, quick stomp, I would say that we'll break it down first with Yellow Rat. They've got fantastic DM on pretty much all their players. Most of their players have pretty good experience playing multiple seasons. They pug a lot, but I would say that their team coordination could use a little bit on the lacking side, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams have, I suppose Yellow Rat more so than Blank's Burgers have evolved over the course of the season. We've seen a lot of roster shuffles on the side of Yellow Rat, and meanwhile, Blank's Burgers have remained pretty constant throughout the season. So it'll be interesting to see whether Rat has finally adapted to this season, because we saw them perform quite well in their preliminary final, well enough at least to defeat their opponents and make it to this grand final. So I'm very excited to see how they perform tonight. We do have some rosters hopefully getting up on screen soon. Ooh. So we've got on Yellow Rat, we have Sefa, Monty, Zobal, JKC, Shy, and Lilia. We have JKC murking for Yellow Rat. Usually they're the Yons, but unfortunately Yons wasn't able to make it tonight, which is why they have JKC. And then on the side of Blank Salt-Free Burgers, they have Catfish, Megumi, MG, Mashiro, Blank, and Zaya on the medic. Now, you were telling me a little bit about how this could go in either direction, Dante. Is there a particular class matchup that you're going to be looking out for the most tonight?
So this will be pretty interesting. I'd say that Blank's Burgers, they do play coordinated. I'd say their star players would be a combination of Catfish, MG, and Mashiro. Mashiro and MG in particular are very solid soldier players. They kind of know how to just play the role. They don't do anything too crazy or too out of the ordinary. Mashiro does love his medic kills, but MG is like a very fantastic pocket player. I've played with him on a Merc team, and in Pugs, he's just a delight to play with. Always making space in that role on the pocket. But we do have Monty on Flank Scout. This guy is a Pug demon. He can drop a 30 bomb at a moment's notice, and he will rush the flank. And obviously we have JKC, who's a bit of a dark horse here. His team didn't do too well this season. I guess I can't be the one to talk here, but he's pretty good on Roma. We've been murking him and trialing him as well. I play with him a lot in Pugs. I think he could also potentially go crazy, so I think the flank will be integral to watch these games, especially on 5 CP, where things can bust open very quickly.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that it'll be interesting to see this dynamic between Mashiro and MG, because like you said, I know Mashiro to be quite an aggressive soldier player. He goes for a lot of these really ambitious plays, and MG on the other hand seems maybe a little bit more conservative in terms of his play style. So it'll be interesting to see in this grand final how they demonstrate that coordination. And yeah, like you said, Monty, he's just an absolute beast, and I think that if Blank Salt-Free Burgers don't give him the credit he's due, he's just going to completely take over the flank in these games. So I want to talk to you a little bit about these map picks that came out, because we saw that on the side of Blank Salt-Free Burgers, they deferred their first ban, which meant Shy on the side of Yellow Rat was really quick to snap up Snakewater as the first map. Now, because you've played with these teams, I suppose I'll ask you, where do you see this first pick Snakewater going?
First pick Snakewater. Well, first off, Snakewater is a Pug map. Everyone is, I'd say, reasonably comfortable playing that map. And while it's a Pug map, the mids can go either way. Obviously, typically teams tend to play a defensive mid where they opt to clean up soldiers. They play a bit tight, play off the heals, and then fight with the resulting player ad. or they full send it, full quickly, bomb the soldiers in, see what we get. Typically it's the demo or the medic, but it could go either way. With a Merc on their team, I'm not sure how it could go. Depends on their confidence coming into this game. I think the first mid will be integral to see who starts the game off with a bunch of momentum. Snakewater also has one of the more excruciating last holds and last to even push in. I think if both teams can save their medic, no matter how well the mid goes or how bad the mid goes, it could really slow down the game, and depends on which team that could be a boon or bane for. But I think what we'll see after the first mid will be integral for the general tempo of the first map and potentially even the set.
Right. Yeah, I suppose we'll see how that sort of momentum is set early on. And yeah, like you said, I think that's a good sort of key thing to watch out for, especially on these mid fights. Just having a look at whether they're going to play the more Mashiro play style of super aggressive or play a more controlled, focused sort of spearhead around their sort of death ball around Xayah. But yeah, I mean, I suppose we'll see. Do you have any predictions going into this first map?
Predictions. I'm not a betting man to begin with, and even if I was, I think I'd be reluctant to bet on this game. It could be busted wide open from the beginning. It could be a complete roll, like I said before, either direction. I think this game will be very momentum based. I would personally like to see a game 5. I love Koff. Koff is fantastic. I'm a Combo Scout player. But it could go 2-0. I'm going to say 3-2, and I've got to give it to Yellow Rat. I did have to think about that. I rate my boy JKC.
Fair enough.
3-2.
So before we get into this first mid fight, I know all the players are in server yet. I think this is going to be one of, if not the longest playoff game that a lot of these players have played before, if it does go all the way to 5 maps. And for those watching at home, maybe that haven't played a best of 5 TF2 game, it can go on for quite a while, and endurance can be the name of the game. What do you think is going to be what are these players going to focus on in order to make it all the way if it does go to 5 games? How would you maintain your endurance?
Absolutely. One thing to notice is that I believe this is JKC's first grand final. I'm not so sure about the other players, if they've got a first grand final or not. It could be like a first grand final maybe for Lilia on Medic, maybe Shy on Demo. Doesn't matter that they've played Prem before. A grand final's a grand final, no matter what division it is, no matter what game it is.
It's onto mid. Zobal goes for a play there, unfortunately doesn't secure
spooned.
much damage onto Xayah. And it looks like Blue are looking to re-enter here. The fact that Lilia went down is a real turning point.
It's a difficult situation when you lose your medic, especially to a spoon. Game 1 of a grand final as well. They do get the 2 soldiers here, so they have options, but massive uber disad. They do get the soldiers spawning, so they have a bit of room to either send a quick sack or set up for a quick last hold, but it's a bit tricky, and looks like we do have Zobal on Sniper. He's a fantastic sniper player with that Valorant, and he drops the
Oh, he actually gets the pick onto Xayah. Bringing Xayah down, that's going to slow down Blank's Burgers and maybe give Yellow Rat a little bit of an angle here to enter it through. Catfish goes down, almost goes down to a pipe, but Zobal, he's just doing so much damage. He brings down Megumi, and it's only 2 players up on the side of Blank's Burgers. Catfish, he's made it behind them. He brings down Zobal, and he's sort of playing a little bit of merry-go-round around flank. JKC finally drops him down, and it's just Xayah up on the side of Blank's Burgers. I think he's just sitting in the forward spawn here.
Zobal completely saved him that round there. That was looking really, really bad. They didn't have any off classes for the last hold, and they weren't really set up for it, but you got to respect the chance that there's going to be a sniper in this game. It's just how it is, especially if you're a medic player, which I know you are. So that has put red team back on the map, and it looks like they're trying to use this Uber ad aggressively. They are taking second with this, but there's a massive ball into the Uber.
Lilia really doesn't want to use that Uber. Yeah, milking that perfectly. That's just going to give Yellow Rat all the confidence to see if they can take this Uber. It looks like they're going straight under with this even. They're going to use the Uber onto Shy. They're going to try and jump all the way top left. Demo's going to get dropped down really low. However, Blank's going to survive. They're going to see what they can do in terms of a collapse here. Zobal, he tries to get a play, but they're just sitting on the point, and that's the first round going the way of Yellow Rat.
Wow, that was I really enjoyed to watch that relentless aggression from red team. When they get a pick, they do need to heal up as they're going, but it is important to send it really fast. Just don't give them a chance to set up. Don't let the blue team have a chance to buff up, and just get in there quickly and play the point early. So props to them for doing that. But let's see how this second mid goes. And it looks like Mashiro is still on that Vegas bazooka. So let's see what he can do with it.
Shai's going to see what she can do in terms of early damage here. Mashiro, he's preloading his Vegas bazooka. He's going high. He's going to see what he can do. He lands on top of the combo. He brings down Shai and Lilia and Sepha. Goes down to MG. What a fantastic play there. Only Monty, however, is alive on the side of Yellow Rat.
Yeah.
He brings down MG, and with 5 health, he might think about going for a play here, but with Megumi and Catfish sitting on the point, capping it out, there's not really much of an angle for him to pursue here.
Getting the medic there late is really fantastic. It looks like he's back on stock now, but they really need to be careful of that potential Vegas bazooka. It's not something that everyone plays in Pug, so it can be a bit tricky to deal with.
Yeah, of course. Mashiro, he's going to see what he can do here. I don't know if Yellow Rat have spotted him. He's already on top of Lilia. Lilia gets brought down. Monty just wasn't there in time to be able to protect Lilia, and it looks like it's all guns blazing. Zai goes down on the other side of that fight. Now there's no heals left. JKC and Monty, they do their best to bring down as many players as they can. Monty ends up going down to Catfish, but not without taking down 3 players by himself, basically.
That was so well played from Red, even though that they did lose their medic to the single soldier bomb, which is always catastrophic. I'm a scout player, what can you say? They managed to collapse and not only take the blue team medic quickly, but wipe them all out and they get a mid off this. The game is still on, so well played from Red team for salvaging that potentially terrible situation.
Yeah, really heads up play. Like, there's nothing that coordinates a team much like their medic going down. So it was really good to see. Zobal is going to see what he can do. Dancing around the pipe here. It looks like a lot of the space has already been taken for Yellow Rat here. MG gets caught out. Doesn't have his team there with him, and Mashiro also goes down. That's both soldiers dead on the side of Blank's Burgers, with Uberad going the way of Yellow Rat. They're going to look for something here. Megumi has the level 3 up on the other side of point. It's watching, but only through the narrow opening there. Shai going to do her best to spam out this gun. And it's just not going very well for Yellow Rat here. 3 of them fall, and 4 players are already still alive on the side of Blank's Burgers. They do have a lot of cap time here. Sepha manages to bring down a couple players. Really nice meat shots bringing down Catfish, and that's going to be the second round going the way of Yellow Rat.
Zobal got a really critical pick somehow. I don't know how he does it, but he pulled a medic pick out of a hat, I suppose, and equalized that. They were getting Uber quickly on Yellow Rat, but they had to do something because Uber was stabilizing on the blue team, and they were getting their spawn. So once again, I think Zobal has just saved them that round, and we're back on the Beggars. Let's see what he does with it again.
It was so sketchy at the end of that fight there. It could have gone either way, but fortunately,
absolutely,
channeling the heals into Sepha, so was able to pick up some stuff. Slightly slower mid. Shai will get the demo pick here. That's going to allow Yellow Rat to take much more space. Megumi is also actually going to fall. Mashiro does his best to make some sort of salvage play, but that's 3 down on the side of Blank's Burgers, and Yellow Rat, they're still all alive to tell the tale. However, Zobal, he's pushing his luck potentially a little bit, playing a little bit faster for his team to accommodate Sepha. He tries to match the pace of his teammate there, but unfortunately gets caught out by MG.
Watch out for the potential trade coming from Catfish. Doesn't look like it's happening. But he loves his trades, so it's something to keep in mind in this game.
Zobal just doing fantastic damage. He's going to bring down Megumi. That's such a good start to this sort of stalemate here. Maybe that's going to open up an opportunity for Yellow Rat, maybe to do a skip jump through. Looks like they're just sitting bats here. They're skip jumping through. Both soldiers are in. Zobal, he's dropped down so weak. Oh, very, very close, Zaya.
That was close. That was well done from Zaya from holding there.
Yeah, so close. Blank's Burgers stalling a little bit here. Mashiro's going to do his best to sort of miss that pipe. MG's already in though. Seth is waiting. Brings him down. But however, Shai does go down to a long-range sticky. That's going to result in a force here for Yellow Rat, and they're going to have to back up on the back half of this. Sepha still maintaining his aggression though. You've got to be a little bit careful. Zobal, he's on sniper.
Well played from Blank's Burgers. They're not flooding through, not wasting their Uber, just waiting for players and playing this next situation.
Yeah. They want to draw it out a little bit here. Blank's Burgers, they use their Uber, potentially fearful of the sightlines Zobal had on them there. They're going to see what they can do to chase some players, but unfortunately, they don't really get anyone with that Uber, and it's just going to be maybe a bit of a recap.
Wow.
Zobal hits an insane headshot onto Blank.
Yeah, that is a crazy shot. We have a bit of a dot Uber ad, but the more important thing here is that we have the demo ad. I want to see them getting quickly when grass looks like it's happening. Monty's leading the charge here, and blue team very fairly respects the fact that they don't have a demo man to hold this. So it looks like we might be back on last. Doesn't seem like yellow red are going to play the dot ad. But with the player pick, they do have room to set up. Oh, look what looks to be now a spy, and they're just coming into this.
Yeah, they actually do use that Uber advantage. They get some early cap time. Blank is going to go down, but Shy's being chased by the Scout and the Soldier on the tail half of this Uber. Fortunately kept alive by Lilia, but not for too long. Megumi's in, bringing down Sephiroth and Shy.
Mashiro's in the back.
Really could go either way here with Zobal on Spice. Gonna see what he can do. Mashiro is right on top of them though. Lilia, JKC, they're both gonna go down. Zobal beefing a few stabs there, a little bit awkward. I mean, Yellow Rat, they're sort of embracing the chaos here at the end of that Uber, maybe detecting the fact that they weren't necessarily able to kill the medic before they were about to get Uber, so yeah.
They must have thought it was hard. They played that. It's tough. When you know that they have the Uber and starting to even out in the first place, it's something you have to be really careful for, and they must have been just overzealous with that. It's like there's fighting pitching going on here. Through.
Almost falling apart there. Blank's Burgers losing 2 to Monty as they're trying to get in. 2 players down on both sides here. Blank's Burgers, they still have the advantage. They can see what they can do, making some space onto this mid fight. MG goes down, trading with Monty. Only 3 players up on both sides. And Yellow Rat, they're just going to respect Blank's Burgers' advance, respect their Uber advantage, and allow them to get through. Mashiro's up on the spy.
Mashiro loves his off classes. Well played from Yellow Rat there, respecting the full Uber ad. Looks like it's starting to even out here. I want to see what they're going to do with this spy. I don't think Yellow Rat will be suspecting it at all. Here he comes through grass. If they take too long to sack on the side of Blank's Burgers, most teams, and Yellow Rat's no exception, will probably get a bit antsy and know that there's some funny business going on. So this spy play has to be done quickly. Looks like we got a distract from MG.
Oh, he's getting healed. He brings out the revolver. Oh, could have been a stab there if he had a little bit more confidence. Maybe didn't bring out the revolver. He does go down. Unfortunately, it's not a successful sack attempt. But Zobal, with that immediate counter sack, also wasn't successful. Blank's Burgers, they're actually going to use this Uber. We weren't able to see on stream, unfortunately, what forced them out there. Lilia getting brought down low. Shot in the back a few times by Megumi, and that's sort of going to clear things up. Not much health now on the side of Blank's Burgers. They're just forced to retreat. MG sort of baiting Kitchen here. He makes the slow corner swing. He almost gets a pick. He does end up trading with Zobal. Yeah, Yellow Rat, it's just their game now to take space. Shy, potentially caught here. Mashiro tailing her. Very unfortunate. It's getting a little bit chaotic in these fights.
Yeah, it's mad. There's some pretty good picks from the side of Yellow Rat there, so they lose their demo. Massive aggression towards lowers now, but mainly just keeping them out. Getting this cap point, stabilizing. Let's get a demo together.
Yeah, I mean, these fights are so awkward. Both teams seem to be making an attempt to split each other off, and then we get these like sort of little scrappy skirmishes happening everywhere, rather than some specific coordinated plays. Yellow Rat, they're going to use their Uber. Blank seems to be caught here. Shy landing 2 solid pipes onto Blank. Unfortunately, Lilia's going to go down though. Catfish taking down both Lilia and Monty. Ooh, it's the medic. He actually brings him down. That's a really good opening for this fight on Blank's Burgers. It's only JKC, and that's going to be a full team wipe.
That was an incredible salvage from JKC there. Blank's Uber were superior, even if they lost their demo. By the time that Blank let the Uber rip, it had about 60% off and was on a solo scout, so him killing the medic there keeps him in the game.
It sure does. This Blanksburger's basically a mid-fight here. Unfortunately, Blank's going to go down. Yellow Rat, they just have too many players already on mid. They bring down Mashiro as well. They're just chasing away these Blanksburger's players. It doesn't seem as though they're able to keep the space that they've been provided by Yellow Rat. Like, every time they have a player advantage, they just can't really keep it. They end up losing a player in a skirmish here or there, and it just doesn't really go their way in the end. Yellow Rat now pinning them down on last with a very slight Uber advantage. We'll have to see whether a similar situation unfolds as last time.
I'm interested to see if they'll play it as if it's dot. Will they take the dot out of space, or will they just simply use the space to send sacks? They could do anything here. I don't want them to think that it's ad.
Yeah, using
and it looks like they think that it's ad, so let's see how this goes.
Ooh, it's pretty sketchy. Shy tries to jump out, but unfortunately it's just going so well in the favor of Blanksburgers. Almost as if they've been given the best trade possible. Ooh, getting close. Zephyr almost getting that back cap, getting quite a bit of cap time, but Blanksburgers, they're too quick to react. However, there is another player on Yellow Rat trying to sneak behind. JKC there. Catfish Megumi. They bring down Monty and they're just chasing Lilia. Lilia getting dropped down really, really low there. Fortunately, they do manage to cap out second, which is going to quash any back cap attempts. MG trying to clear up here, bringing down Zobile, and with only 3 players alive on the side of Blanksburgers, they do seem to successfully cap out second and can take more space here. MG playing quite aggressive despite no backup from his team. He's going to get dropped down so weak here, and Zephy's already on top of him. I don't think MG realized his team didn't quite have the memo there.
Looks like a bit of a miscom here. Now, there's no doubt in their mind with Yellow Rat that this will be a full Uber ad, so I really want them to see this used properly, not bleed players. Looks like they're getting crucial picks here.
Yeah, a few quite good picks. It's going to allow Yellow Rat. They're actually going to bring out the Uber. It is slight Uber advantage, but oh no, never mind. They do get blank. That's going to open up this last push a little bit for them as they just take space. Maybe consider an organized, coordinated collapse here. They've got soldiers tailing overhead. That's MG really weak in the skybox. Yeah, they weren't able to shoot them off the point there with blank down. Catfish wasn't quite in position on the heavy. Just didn't quite work out for them.
Yellow Rat players are doing a really good job of salvaging these fights to catch the medic when things get messy. I think when Catfish starts to slow down just a smidge and keep that in mind, I think these rounds will be going better for them. But that was a crucial round to win, and it was a bit of a back and forth. So let's see how this mid develops.
Some really good early damage onto the Yellow Rat players. Zephyr being dropped down so low, requiring an arrow there, but Blank, he does require the beam of his medic. Zobal, perfect position there to be able to catch out Mashiro's trying to push into Kitchen. And that's going to allow Yellow Rat to somewhat gather themselves here. Zobal waiting for an arrow and going to make a play right as they're all about to leave. He does so much damage, and Yellow Rat, they're just flooding in. Zobal, he brings down 2, make that 3. Making that a 4K on that mid.
That was an impeccable bomb from Zobal. I don't know who called it, how that happened, but that was clinical and textbook from Zobal.
Yeah, really showing his experience there, knowing he has time to wait for an arrow, wait for a more opportune moment. And yeah, certainly seals off that mid fight for his team. Right as Blanksburgers taking so much spam from Shy are forced to retreat.
Let's see how Yellow Rat play this even Uber situation. This is a very clear even Uber. There should be no doubts in their mind that it's ad or not.
With that said, both red soldiers, they try and jump in onto Mashiro. Mashiro ends up falling to Monty there. They're going to get some early cap time. Neither Uber has come out, but they're 2 down on the side of Yellow Rat. They might have to respect Blanksburger's counter sack here. Shy, holding quite close. MG, he's going to try and go for something, getting a little bit of damage onto Shy. Catfish just launching himself in, bringing down Shy, and that might open more of an opportunity for Blanksburgers to send more players out at Yellow Rat, see if they can force a beneficial trade, or maybe even force out the Uber of Lilia without costing too much. Megumi bringing down Zobile, and Blank finally taking out JKC, which is who is causing so much trouble for Blank's Burgers, the Smirch.
Shy-dying there in lobby started to really snowball that hold. There were a few ways they could do this, but they couldn't have their demo be caught out like that. Even if they had a player up, they still have to respect that. It's like we're getting a push attempt from Blank's Burgers.
Ooh. It's a little sketchy here. Both Ubers are going to come out. The players on the side of Yellow Rat have been brought down quite weak due to this trade though. Shy is in fact going to fall. And that might be, despite being stuck in this choke, a little bit of space here for Blank's Burgers to pursue this push. Zephyr brings down Mashiro. There's only 3 alive on the side of Yellow Rat. They managed to just collapse on top of them. And it's just Zobal alive, fleeing for his life through Kitchen.
That got really messy.
He might look for a play here though. Keeping the corner. He does so much damage. He brings down Megumi and... Oh, so close. Zaya brought down weak, but unfortunately Zobal, he can't put this game on his back any more than he already has.
No, shoulders has seemingly reached their limit. It was really good that Blank's Burgers, they consolidated and just knew what's most likely to happen. They've lost their medic, so people are going to go for our own medic in turn. Trying the forward spawn.
Sitting in forward spawns here. They know she's there. She's forced to back spawn. Getting some traps up here on last. Blank's Burgers with a huge advantage. They're going to see what they can do here. They've got a few off-casters, the Sniper and the Heavy. And the Engineer, actually. They've got the most defensive setup basically possible. Blue, they're going to take their Uber charge in, bring down the Sentry and Zobal on the Sniper. They're going to try and slow them down here. JKC lands on top of Point. He brings down MG Blank. They're both dead. It's only Mashiro and Zaya still alive. Mashiro's being chased down by Monty. Monty's going to pursue Zaya. He's hot on his ankles here. Running through cheese, Zaya. He's going to do his best. Kite out Monty. Monty's being kept alive from the arrows of Lilia. Looks like Blank's Burgers are there to save Zaya. Monty is forced to retreat, being dropped down to only 16 HP, unfortunately. They took down 5, but they weren't able to capture Zaya as well. Full Ubrad now on the side of Yellow Rat.
That was a really fantastic hold. They had all their classes, no early picks.
We can see what they do here. Zobal's already on top of them, gets a nice air shot onto Mashiro, and they're going to be forced to use their Uber. See what they can get maybe, but they don't have much health on the side of Yellow Rat, so they can't really pursue this further despite the player advantage. Even though Monty's already on top of second, unfortunately losing that 1v1 to MG. Only 4 health. Meanwhile, Yellow Rat, they're losing a lot of players here. It's just MG. He manages to cap out this second point. That's going to slow down Yellow Rat. However, they're down a few. Unfortunately, we didn't catch that on the stream, but the full combo went down on the side of Yellow Rat.
Very difficult for Yellow Rat here without plays. Looks like Blank's Burgers are just going to come in quickly, and that should be a clinical point take and a massive round to swing the momentum back for Blank's Burgers. See Shiro doing 360s, he's loving it.
Very, very well executed here. Blank's Burgers. See what they can do to bring this map back into their favor here. We're on Blank for this mid. Gonna see what early damage he can do. Beefing a few of these sticks. Not really shooting height. Electing instead to sort of keep Shy from walking forward. A little bit of a demo brawl's happening.
Wow,
Both demos are going to get piped. Mashiro's there though. Brings down Shy, and Lilia's also going to go down up to MG. That's going to really open up the fight for Blank's Burgers here, as, I mean, maybe they've identified a bit of a weakness here.
It does look like that, doesn't it, Carl? Blank's Burgers are now, it seems that they're playing a bit more coordinated. They're aware that Yellow Rat want to make this messy and dirty, and as long as Blank Burgers play this by the book, it's very difficult to make the magic happen that the way that Yellow Rat have been doing. Now it looks like we're going to have to full Uber this side. Not the situation you want to be in tier 2, and Blank's Burgers are mobilizing to break this. Let's see if they can spot gun and heavy. How are they going to use this Uber? We do have to be careful about Zobal, the Valorant sniper here.
Well, they're being stuffed a little bit by Shy's sticks there. But Yellow Rat, they're not looking at point. They get so much cap time, only losing Catfish in the process. That's going to be the point, going the way of Blank's Burgers. They just weren't in position at all to defend that last.
That was a really quick round. That's not a round you want to lose if you're Yellow Rat after losing that momentum changing round into a real quick mid, into a real quick last. It's a bit of an uphill battle, but we do have a minute 30 seconds left. It is banny time though.
Looks like this might well indeed go into overtime here as Blank can do what he can. Stop the advance of Yellow Rat soldiers. Zobal gets brought down by Catfish. He's going to do so much damage. Catfish brings down JKC and Sepha also goes down to that pipe. Fantastic damage being pumped out here by Blank. It's only 3 alive on the side of Yellow Rat now.
It's looking like a last hold with even situation. Not the worst place to be in when your round's up. Zia actually got hit by a pipe there and came down to I think 4 and 9 HP and somehow still survived all that, which is crazy.
They're just doing so well here. Side of Blank's Burgers. Seems like they've sort of worked out how they want to play these mid-fights. Keeping Shy from walking forward and basically ignoring height, trusting that their scouts can clear up these soldiers that are showing really no sign of fade bombings, just full committals on the side of Yellow Rat. Mashiro, he's going in with the Beggar's Bazooka, he's beefing a few jumps here. He's going to take so much damage, JKC missing a few rockets, ultimately bringing him down. Whew. A little bit of nerves there, maybe.
I got a bit hairy at the end, but thankfully no force. Shy does go down, so it doesn't look like a push is going to happen. And now we are in banny time.
Yellow Rat with the match point here, but Blank's Burgers, they're not too far away from taking this first map. We see the stalemate here. Blank's Burgers. Blank is going to take so much damage there.
Mashiro and Sniper.
Shiro is waiting for a pick here.
By all means, not a bad sniper. Not something you see often, but when he does play, he can hit his shots. And we've got Zobal and Sniper as well, so we've got a bit of a Kenny S versus JW here on this.
Good old-fashioned SVS, isn't that right? Oh, Zobal, he gets a quick headshot. Mashiro being forced to take an arrow real quick. He'll back up again. Maybe take this SVS once again. Oh, so much damage. Shy is able to spam out this doorway knowing that Mashiro is trying to look for an angle here. Mashiro actually brings down Zobal. Very, very well done there by Mashiro. That's going to open up.
Game open.
Yeah, that's an opportunity for Mashiro to peek out the right side here. Looking through drop down, JKC is also going to fall. Some nice clean body shots there. Is going to mean that despite fade bombing and not committing, he's still going to get brought down. Blank, nice dispenser pick.
And they get the
Monty,
demo with
unfortunately,
that too.
with that level 3, they do bring down the demo. It's going to force Blank's Burgers to retreat a little bit here, anticipating Yellow Rat's counter initiation. JKC, they're actually going to take the Uber. They're going to see what they can do. Shy, caught on top of this pipe here. Mashiro hits a really nice headshot onto Sepha. And it's really dodgy. Mashiro brings down Shy, and what a great defense there. Mashiro got brought down quite weak, but they were able to play off that trade very well. Like, both Ubers came out, but
are composing themselves. And we go with this last push.
Mashiro is doing so much work on this sniper. Absolutely terrorizing.
Very hard to push out a Snakewater last, even in the best of times. That neutral, even situation gun spot is fantastic. As we just saw, it's really, really hard to spam it correctly, especially when you have a Valorant sniper player fully charged, headshotting you across the corner. I would just elect to go back to the round reset, but it gets a bit tricky as the last 2 minutes were won by Blank's Burgers.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It does look like it's going to go to a round reset here. Yellow Rat, despite some advantages appearing for their side, they don't seem keen on advancing into last, advancing away from last rather. Catfish gets brought down by the sentry of Monty, but MG's there to spam it out. Blank, he's going to walk in. They're going to use the Uber out on the side of Blank, and they're going to bring down Zobal. Really good start here on Blank's Burgers, but they're just like all caught on this right side. Blue team, they're going to have to do something here if they don't want it to go to stalemate, but
Like they'll be able to-
looks like that's just it. MG makes a last-ditch effort, but that's the first stalemate of the evening.
I don't think it's going to be the last hull. This next mid is going to be extremely crucial. While Blanksburgers are a round down, if they win this mid, they very well could win off the resulting momentum for the rest of the map. Let's see how these teams play this.
Yeah, Mashiro still on the beggars. Gonna see what he can do opening this mid up like he was able to do the 2 rounds prior. A little bit of a brawl's going to come out in kitchen here. JKC is going to get brought down. But Zobal, he's already on top of the combo. Brings down Zaya, Mashiro, and Catfish with the help of Shy, and this looks like this mid-fight's going the way of Yellow Rat. Only Megumi staying alive. What an excellent death ball Yellow Rat were able to achieve there. On the back of Zaya's death, they just knew that they had to keep Lilia alive.
JKC going kitchen, you could tell Blanksburgers really panicked with doing that. They sent too many people into kitchen to deal with him, which gave Yellow Rat so much room to walk forward and actually take space and play it.
Shiro unfortunately not hitting that shot there. Gonna get caught in lobby, but brings down Shy. A little bit of beef there. Blanksburgers. They've taken 3 out, and I mean, despite Yellow Rat having Uber, they're not really able to keep the space they achieved on the back of that mid-fight. They might even be forced to back out here unless Monty wants to take a 1v6 to save the world.
Bit of a nerves push there, I think. They had the perfect situation with Uber and they rushed it and were accordingly punished for it.
Yeah, they thought they saw players that were caught, but in fact they had the full support of the team behind them. Mashiro, really the playmaker on the side of Blanksburgers here. Oh, the Ubers are both going to come out here. It's going to be slightly in favor of Blanksburgers, but they're going to lose a couple players. On the side of Yellow Rat, really convincing Blanksburgers trade there.
I don't
Seemed
hate
as
the
though
trade
Yellow
into
Rat...
Sniper. Sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, I don't hate the trade into Sniper there, but the camera angle that I'm looking at, I didn't see the other scout. That makes it a bit difficult because the placement was bad and looks like they won't have time to speak because the resulting Uber push is now going on. Last control.
Yeah, unfortunately they don't have Uber yet, and henceforth they're going to be just absolutely minced in that doorway. Shy, well aware that Blanksburgers like to push their advantage at times like these. Zobal's quick to bring down Mashiro, and that's going to allow them to bunny hop this cap and maybe take a little bit of space on mid. They're still waiting on Mashiro as a spawner. They're trying to get in here. Monty's doing a lot of damage to Megumi. Megumi's forced back into kitchen. Monty's just keeps chasing. JKC, oh, MG hits a very strange rocket there, ends up trading those 2 players out, and that's going to be a pretty convincing dry push. Yellow Rat manages to secure that mid.
Early space, and more importantly, consolidating that play that Mashiro loves to go for the medic when it gets really scrappy. So that's a good sign for that team's mental ecosystem.
All the Ubers look like they're coming out. Lilia milking a little bit, but does end up using the Uber charge. They're going to chase Blanksburgers combo. On the tail after this Uber, Sepha is not very confident on pursuing this. He's aware that he doesn't quite have the backup of his team ready for him. But Blank, just absolutely caught in no man's land. I don't know what Blank was doing there.
This could be it.
This could be it. Yellow Rat, they're going to see what they can do with this dry fight. Sephi's made it through. Monty's going to bring down Mashiro on the other side of this fight. And that's going to allow Yellow Rat to really advance forward. They're going to get it quite a bit of cap time here. Shy is standing on the point. That's going to be the first map going the way of Yellow Rat.
Wow. That got explosive real quickly. The demo being caught out there completely dismantled any chance that Blanksburgers had there. The hold from that point on, it's clinical, all doorways are exposed, and Yellow Rat saw the opportunity and took it. It got a bit dicey at the end there, Tal. I could see that Blanksburgers were getting a bit of momentum back, but well played from Yellow Rat for consolidating that mental pressure and finishing the map with a, I wouldn't say a clear 4-2, but it's a 4-2. A win is a win.
It got a little sketchy there for those 2 rounds. Yellow Rat dealing with maybe some levels of aggression from Blanksburgers that they weren't quite expecting, but yeah, you're right. They're able to consolidate their win here on this first map, Snakewater, and it looks like very shortly we'll be going into Metalworks. We are. Metalworks is our second map. Now, I mean, the way I view Metalworks with this sort of aggression coming out from both teams is we might see a very similar situation where a lot of, I suppose, the gameplay is predetermined by the state of the mid fight.
Absolutely. Now I can see the logs on my screen. Would you care to comment first, Tal, on the statistical evidence of this round?
I mean, it pretty much shows Monty's dominance, right? Managing to top frag there, only dying 13 times despite the 36 kills. He's just, like we predicted prior to this match, he's able to just chase down the flank, and they're not really able to put up much resistance. Monty, he just takes a full buff from Lilia and he just runs at them, and it seems to show in these logs.
No, absolutely. On the side of the soldiers, we can see that Zobar had a pretty great game, 326 DPM in a rather stalemate at times game, 10k damage, utterly fantastic, of course. On the side of the blue soldiers, looks like that Mishira and MG, they're not log players. They don't play for logs, nor do they play for logs, and I wouldn't say scarcely get crazy logs. Most of their impact tends to be them as teammates and as players. They were getting fantastic medic picks and making great space. Mishira was a menace on that Beggar's Bazooka, but it looks like for Yellow Rat, they did have some real standout performances when they needed them the most. So, props.
Yeah, I mean, it's the stats don't tell the whole story of that first map, unfortunately, because there was so many really scrappy fights. It was definitely a first map where maybe a lot of these players are warming up a little bit, trying to get back into the mindset where they really need to prioritize some coordination. Because yeah, we saw so many players just dying at very ill-opportune moments.
Absolutely. That middle part of that map, especially, you could really see that as Blank's Burgers was starting to get some momentum back. Real props for Yellow Rat to steal their nerves, consolidate, play out the bounty time, and play it clinically. I'll probably credit that to Zephyr. He's a fantastic main caller, even if he isn't necessarily a scout main. Really good at bringing the team together when things were getting a bit dicey, which they were. A first map win in a grand final is fantastic. Let's see how they go on Metalworks. What do you think about Metalworks, Tal? What's your predictions for this?
I think it'll go quite similarly. I think with the levels of aggression we've been seeing from both teams and just the frequency of these incredibly costly mistakes, I think we'll see a similar amount of points being scored, and not too many stalemates. I'm pretty sure that stalemate lasted for about 5 minutes on that last map, and it was the only stalemate we saw, really. A lot of the players were able to sort of break through the holds of each other's holds quite easily. So I think Metalworks will be more of the same. We will probably see a few very stompy mid fights being snowballed into last pushes, and yeah, I think it still could go in either team's direction. What are your thoughts?
No, I don't disagree. Metalworks is a bit of a strange map. It's almost non-existent in the pug scene, at least in Australia. I believe so for the rest of the world. Soldiers can go really crazy on this map. There's a lot of high bombs that I have died to and killed my medic by not being aware that they're happening in the first place. Might even see the Beggar's Bazooka again. I know there's that notorious NA player who's fantastic with it. Off classes, pretty good in this map. I have seen a lot of spies go complete James Bond mode, especially in that lobby into last. But don't count the scouts off. Scouts can go crazy on this map as well, especially on the flank. I think what we want to watch on this map will be, besides the mids and the holds, of course, will be specifically the flank players, because if you're a flank scout player and you drop 36 kills, you are feeling the heat. I think Monty is probably the player to watch on Yellow Rat, and for Blank's Burgers, I've got my eye on Mashiro.
Yeah, I really want to see Blank's Burgers really support Mashiro here going into this next map. It seemed as though Mashiro was trying to like make a few plays, sort of dictate the aggression of Blank's Burgers, but he's not really able to, I don't know, feel the full support of his team. It felt like every time he was going in, maybe Catfish and the rest of the combo on Blank's Burgers wasn't quite able to keep that same pace. So I'd really like the I suppose, aggression to increase on the side of Blanksburgers, see how they can match up against Yellow Rat going into this next map.
Yeah, I agree. It's crucial to support your soldiers. A single soldier sacking is not a class in TF2. Two soldiers sacking, a little bit better, but it's really integral for the team to do it coordinated and together to increase the success for that purpose of the sack, whether it's getting the medic forced or just taking space and punishing with that enforced space for free. So might be a bit better in Metalworks. I'm not sure how much these teams have been scrimming them. I personally have not played these teams at all on either side for Metalworks, so we might see something special happen for Blanksburgers to bring back around in this set.
Yeah, I mean, we're just the first map down in what is potentially a full best of five, full 5 games. Like, there are so many opportunities for Blanksburgers to make their way back into this game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're using this opportunity in between maps to get a glass of water, really understand where they're at in terms of the state of the game, what maps they have ahead of them, what they really need to direct their focus on, and yeah, just having that improvement mindset. Because as we know, watching these playoffs so far this season, a lot of these players are improving a lot just throughout the course of one match. So yeah, I really hope that they're able to have the foresight to make those changes that they need to make.
No, absolutely. I agree. While Yellow Rat did win that round, we did notice the casters and everyone watching at home, and I'm sure they noticed very intimately, it was getting messy at times. That could be symptomatic of things that we could see happen in this map, or it could be the fulcrum point that they work on and clean up this map and make it
Yeah,
a quick 2-0. We will see how it goes.
yeah, it's so difficult, right? Because we don't really know, because we don't have the luxury of listening in on the comms, whether these teams are just warming up or whether there's something actually going wrong. Um, it's just so hard to know for sure.
Mm.
Do
Yeah,
you have
unfortunately,
a
we
do you have a
don't have the
score
budget.
prediction?
A
Sorry, go
score
on.
prediction. Sorry, I was going to say we don't have the budget of IEM Counter Strike to listen in on the team's comms, but score
Yeah.
prediction for this map. Because last map did go to banning time, I also anticipate this map going to banning time because it shows both teams are when the teams both rushed last pushes, it was more of a rush thing. I would say like out of nerves as opposed to clinical last pushes and punishing lack of proper defense. So I think it will go. I think it'll go 3-2 to the side of Yellow Rat.
I think that's a really good prediction. I might even second that. I think it's gonna go 3-2, and maybe, like you said, that's just gonna go happen in Banny overtime. I'm not convinced that either of these teams are able to execute a clean 5 points.
Mm.
Not necessarily a 5-0. But yeah, hopefully it's a quick game. Sorry, not a quick game. Hopefully it's a fairly evenly matched game. Now, speaking of evenly matched games, last year we saw some fantastic games happening at Land Down Under, and we still have some spectator tickets available. We'd love to see you there. I'll be there alongside many of the CappingTV staff, and a lot of your favorite players will be there too. I'm sure a lot of the players that are in the match you're watching right now will be there in the flesh at Fortress Arena on July 19th and 20th. So yeah, if you haven't already purchased a spectator ticket, you should definitely do so. Otherwise, you're risking missing out on some high-octane gameplay.
Projectile players who do not want to complain about ping anymore, this is your opportunity to paint your explosive masterpieces on that zero ping land canvas, so to speak. So yeah, grab your tickets. It'll be great.
Wonderful. We're going to throw to a quick break here while we're waiting for both teams to sort of iron out a few issues. We will see you very, very soon.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Looks like we are going to get into this mid-fight. Both teams have readied up. We were waiting on Zobal there for a quick soda break. He loves his soda, Zobal. Gonna be on shy on this rollout. I mean, yeah, Metalworks, it's such a difficult rollout for a lot of these teams to sort of inch out an advantage with, because you just, it's very hard to decide, I suppose, how you're going to play these mids. Shy's going to elect to jump out top left. Mishiro's going to land right on top of her, just doesn't have the support of her team yet. Yellow Rat going to make a play so Bali brings down Saya. Catfish. What a nuke.
Wow, what a salvage play from Zobel there again. That was a fantastic double aggression of the demo man. It was really cool to see, but Zobel does manage to salvage. Looks like we've got a full Uber ad into last, which is great. Metalworks last can be also excruciating to push into. Maybe he might be caught here, and Zephyr is running her down.
Unfortunately gets caught there.
An easy pick.
Yeah, maybe didn't quite realize how fast Yellow Rat was aggressing there. Unfortunately gets taken out.
It's a really good sign from Yellow Rat. I want to see both soldiers buffed up to 300 here. They do have a bit of time. The flank scout is dead, so they will have that no sentry gun presence.
Yeah, Blanksburger's opting for the heavy as an off class. Around this corner here, Yellow Rat, they're going to take their Uber through. Zobal, he's going to go for some rockets. He manages to bring down Mashiro with a wall rocket there. Catfish, he's not quite able to look onto point. He brings down JKC, but Shy doing so much damage. Bring down 3, and that's going to be the first round going the way of Yellow Rat. Just, yeah, like you said, just an absolute massacre.
That was really well played from Yellow Rat. Maybe their mid wasn't necessarily the cleanest, but they managed to salvage what looked to be something going bad really quickly.
Shy.
Oh, and Shy has just passed away.
Shy, very good start. Dying really fast on mid, and then dying on rollout in the second round. We're going swell.
Probably
Blanksburgers, they're gonna use this opportunity to basically take a free mid point. Ooh, blue soldier! So far he does so much damage, but he does get brought down. I'm not even sure how much he slowed them down there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they can hold second when the demo dies that early and they get in space quickly for second. Not look like it's happening. It's all good though, we got a round. Looks like it's just going to be a last hold. Let's see what Blanksburgers do to break this. How are they going to set up the sacks?
Yeah, Yellow Rat. They've got Monty on the engineer, building up a gun with the Jag, hopefully getting it set up quickly as Nishiro, he's going to sack in. JKC gets a nice rocket onto him, but MG, he's there. Dealing with JKC, Mashiro, he lives to tell another tale. We'll have to see what Blanksburgers they try and do to break this stalemate. It wasn't going so well for them on the last map. Catfish trades out with Zobal, and Blanksburgers, they're just taking so much spam in the corner of this map.
Zephyr.
They only lose Zobal. Zephyr's on top of Zaya, actually brings Zaya down.
Wow. Oh, I don't know what to say.
I mean, what a fantastic drop there, but Blanksburgers suffering from the beef. Zaya thought he was so safe there. I mean, Blanksburgers should have been able to take down Zephyr, but he's a movement player. Shy brings down the other movement player on the side of Blanksburgers. Mashiro goes down. And that's going to open up an opportunity for Yellow Rat to move forward here, but they don't want to stagnate too much. MG goes for a quick play. Zephyr's there to catch him. Unfortunately doesn't get anything. Yellow Rat, they're going to push through lowers here. They're going to go up through Valley, see what they can do. They don't spot out the trap yet. Fortunately, don't lose anyone to it. But these Ubers, they're getting quite close. Yellow Rat, they need to find an opportunity here. Zephyr, doing the loop-de-loop around.
Crazy.
Didn't get followed by his team, and no one decides to shoot at him. He just does a little loop. He's back out, and now we're seeing Ubers. I mean, Yellow Rat.
I suppose that could have been worse. Yellow Rat did look like they were thinking it's ad. Oh, here comes the trade from Zephyr.
He actually
gets the force.
Gets the force. Unbelievable. It's just such a strange sack. Unfortunately, Yellow Rat, they do have to use their Uber here. Shy, maybe getting caught. Doesn't look like they're getting much for this Uber, apart from Catfish. Zobal and JKC, both soldiers going down on the side of Yellow Rat, and it's getting quite scrappy here. MG manages to land on Lilia. Lilia goes down.
When I said cleaning up the fight, this is not exactly what I had it in mind.
That so scrappy here, Megumi and Mashiro. The ulti duo team to watch out for. They're able to bring down a lot of these players and really salvage that fight there. I don't know, Yellow Rat, they aren't looking quite as coordinated as they were on the last match.
Yeah, that last round was basically textbook. That failed potential Uber trade thing that Zephyr did and somehow managing to escape alive and then taking a trade and forcing out the medic is probably not what I have on my TF2 Grand Final bingo, but I suppose I can cross it out if I did.
Certainly right. We might have to discuss some other potential bingo card
Wacky
moments
business, yeah.
going forward. I mean, looks like our prediction is proving to be quite incorrect here. It looks like Metalworks is proving to be quite the stalemate here. Both teams, I mean, they're not able to transfer this aggression into dry fights as easily as they were on the last map. Mashiro's going to go in for this full committal sack, doing a lot of damage, but not able to do much. Ultimately, Zephyr's there to protect Lilia. Dropping down so low. So
Catfish's signature trade.
Zaya. The Uber trade does come out. They're down MG on the side of Blank's Burgers, so it's really on them to guarantee a trade that's beneficial for them. Catfish doesn't quite manage to get out on the tail side of that Uber. Blank's going to bring down JKC though.
Yeah, that trade is very difficult. Looks like they're trying to muscle into house now.
Ooh, Yellow Rat, they're going to do so much spam here. Shy doing so much damage. MG gets brought down. They're 3 down on the side of Blank's Burgers. Maybe Yellow Rat will have an opportunity to advance here. A little less impeded by the spam of Blank's Burgers. They're going to cap out second,
really
and yeah, it's basically even Ubers going into this last.
Really good that they got the players here. I want to see if Yellow Rat do something with it. They did have a little bit of time, but opting to play it a bit more chill and safe, take it point by point, no one's going to fault you for that.
Monty gets brought down so weak there. Zobal, he went for a sack, but unfortunately it wasn't fruitful.
Even Ubers now. Potentially we'll see a sniper off class. It's typical when a single soldier dies, and something that all teams need to keep in mind and respect. And here we go, back on the sniper. Looks like he's got enough money for the AWP. Let's see how he does it. Metalworks sniper angles, not as obstructive as the Snakewater sniper angles, but this guy has been crazy. First game, oh yep, a bit of friendly fire there. Luckily this is Face It, so Monty's not taking any damage. How are they going to support Zobal? And Nashiro is also on the sniper.
Ooh, another bit of SVS action. They spot Mashiro, they chase him out of that little side angle here. Zobal taking a wide angle there, somehow not taking too much damage. Blue team, they're going to collect their advantage here. Oh, hits a fantastic shot onto Blank. Blank gets taken out. Somewhat unaware of the fact that they would look for a sniper sightline through shutter there. Zobal, he's hitting a wide angle here. He's going to see what he can do. Mashiro brings down Monty though. Monty peeking that flank angle, not able to do much. MG brings down Dalton as well. Zobal, he's fallen.
Nice fadeaway rocket there from MG, playing it very safe, getting the clean ones. It looked really good for Yellow Rat there with that early pick, but well played from Blank's for stabilizing it.
Oh, Shy, that trap, that foresight to know that MG was going to try and jump through there. Really proactive. Megumi goes for a last-ditch play, but now Mashiro, he is a spawner. He's on spy. He's going to see what he can do here. JKC, the trade is going to come out. They do drop Zephyr. Unfortunately, it's just Shy. Shy is going to bounce them off the point, try and get a bit of cap time here. Little bit of a brawl is going to open out. Blank's going to fall quite weak, and it looks like the soldiers on the side of Yellow Rat, they just jump in. They secure that cap time. Shy really showing a good presence of mind there to prioritize cap time, bounce that Uber away from the point, and allow an opportunity for some backup, for some support to land on top of that point, finish out that round.
Absolutely, that was so well played from the soldier. Just being patient and waiting for the situation where their jumps will cause the most terror and impact was fantastic to see from them. Their medic on Blank's Burgers was a little bit out of position.
Yeah. You can't have it all here. 2 rounds the side of Yellow Rat. MG, he's going in high. He does land on top of Lilia. Lily gets brought down. Now it's all action stations here. Yellow Rat, they're going to send some players in, see what they can do to disrupt Blank's Burgers, but they're deathballing really well here. Sepha tries to get in through the other side, but gets brought down. Monty, unfortunately, manages to slip through. Zai gets taken out. Despite Yellow Rat wiping, their sack wave ultimately was fruitful.
That potentially saves them that quick round, because that mid was looking bad and looked worse real quick. Thank goodness Monty managed to slip in and indeed kill that medic there when his team needed him the most. When it gets chaotic, it does become a bit difficult to protect your medic in those situations, especially with all the open doors.
Ooh.
But well played from Monty for salvaging that.
Oh, it's so scary. With these sticky traps set by Blank, they do need to check for traps more, apparently. Sepha, he brings down both soldiers on the side of Blank's Burgers. MG does go down as well as Mashiro, but Catfish, he's there to bring down Monty. Sepha with a 3k, bringing down Blank as well.
Looks like a fight was happening and it went bad, and players tried to help it and it went bad and also got worse. So well played from Yellow Rat for managing to make that situation into a winning situation, and looks like we're getting the midpoint cap again and then even Ubers into second. Let's see how they sack these soldiers and support them for this. I suppose that's the first sack.
MG is going to bring down JKC. Mashiro, he lands high, manages to bring down on the other side of the map. MG manages to force out the Uber from Yellow Rat. They're only 3 up now, facing full Uber disadvantage.
That's a great tragedy.
Forced to run. Shy. Shy, what a fantastic stack. Does force out the other Uber.
Does equalize it a bit.
These medics, like, these Ubers are coming out so easily, it seems. Maybe not quite positioning correctly to anticipate the sacks that are coming in. Dry fight coming out here. Catfish brings down Monty, and a lot of damage is being done to JKC on the point there. Yellow Rat, despite having this high ground, they're taking so much spam. Both soldiers down on the side of Yellow Rat, with only Catfish down on the other side.
Yeah, it's
they're
hard
forced
to
to
fight
back
that.
up.
Metalworks has that high ground midpoint. They didn't have their demo in that situation. They wanted to get in quickly, but it wasn't happening. It was a strange fight to take in the first place, I will say. And a double pipe from Shy, killing Blank.
They're going to trade demos here. That is ultimately going to be beneficial for Blank's Burgers, as Yellow Rat was already on the back foot. Now they don't have to concern themselves with pipe and sticky spam, and they're able to, if they keep their soldiers close enough, keep this space. Monty does break through. 60 HP, picks up the pack, but MG's there to shoot some rockets down. Trade's going to come out. Catfish is going to fall. Could go either way in this trade. MG, fortunately, manages to take down JKC, even running out of ammo in the process. He's going to go for a few more rockets, bringing down Zobile. And yeah, somehow going in Blank's Burgers direction there. Wasn't looking good for a while. Ooh, MG.
Kryptonite for MG. I do like that he opted to go in really quickly, hopefully thinking that the enemy team wouldn't be ready to set up. Can happen, especially in a grand final, but yeah, he's just quickly put down in the 9 for that, so probably going to see a gun, and it looks like we've got a spy with MG, so perhaps that was the play all along, keep them guessing, as the spy would probably say. We do have that gun from Monty, which will be very helpful to deny from potential bombs. But let's see how they make this spy work, because the spy can make things messy and crazy real quick.
Ooh. MG. Disguised as the Blue Scout. Ooh, see if he can dodge around a few players there. Try to decloak in an opportune position. Sepha.
Well done.
He's able to spot out MG. They're down 2 on the side of Blank's Burgers. Fortunately,
really
that coordination wasn't quite there. Sepha with the presence of mind to realize that tie was imminent. Trade's going to come out. Not looking good here. Looks like they just wanted to clear out the Ubers. Blank's Burgers allowing a little bit of space for Yellow Rat to enter, but Yellow Rat decidedly they aren't keen. They're straight back to last. And more brawls sort of opening up here. MG's on top of
Wow.
Lilia. Brings down Lilia.
That was a crazy jump. That would be an example of the catch them while their pants are down, proverbially speaking, that the soldiers can do before teams are properly set up. I know that they did have a gun there, but he did get fortunate to get in on that medic. That's catastrophic for Yellow Rat's hold. They do have a little bit of time for the player to spawn on Lanksburgers and the rest of the Uber to charge. I would hopefully see that everyone on Yellow Rat's team are buffed up to full, and let's just see how they hold it, because this is tricky. This is very, very difficult.
It's like Shy's going to go up to Batman here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's see if Red are able to spot her out. Doesn't look like they've seen her yet. Shy just keeps shooting sticks down. Interesting. They didn't see her at all.
And Zobile
Zobile
passes away on his own
a
accord.
celebratory suicide, dropping the gulp in chat. Yeah, a successful defense, but just a bit nuts, honestly.
Yeah, Shy did put them into Arkham Asylum there, setting up that spot, which did save them that round, so I don't have it in me to make a joke. So let's just see how they push out of second with full Ubrad. Mashiro's got his own
Mashiro also in Batman.
goes for the force.
Oh,
No,
so
it is
close there.
Well played.
I mean, Mashiro trying to replicate Shy's impact on that last defense. Not able to do the same.
Indeed.
Yellow Rat. Gonna see what they can do to break through the stickies here. Looks like they will be able to capture second without having to use their Uber. But that said, they've lost their advantage. It's gonna be Ubers evening out yet again. MG. MG. Patience player right here.
He's got no idea.
Monty didn't even turn around. They do know he's there now. He's on top. Lilia actually forces out the Uber. MG having so much impact here. Zobal's even going to get brought down by Mashiro. Absolute disaster.
I know we were making a lot of Counter-Strike jokes, but that was a bit of a 4-3 moment there. I don't think it matters too much in Tier 2, but yeah, it's pretty tough that he doesn't spot it and he gets all that value for free.
Ooh, the Uber is going to come out from Zaya there. JKC with a successful sack. Forcing out the Uber, so it's no longer a threat to Yellow Rat. They might be able to leapfrog this now with a small Uber advantage. Blanks Burgers, they're going to see what they can do, recognizing that Yellow Rat don't yet have their Uber, maybe forcing a dry fight here. It's not going to go very well for the side of Blanks Burgers. Blanks immediately going to get dropped down to some heavy spam and Sepha's accurate scattergun shots. MG though, he's there, waiting for him in lobby. Sepha pushing his luck too much without the support of his team. Speaking of without the support of his team, Zobile just walks through choke, seemingly unaware of the fact that Blanks Burgers would be in any way prepared. Mashiro brings down Monty, who's going for a similar, potentially Batcap play. Yeah, Yellow Rat, they're just back on mid.
Those were pretty overzealous pushes from both teams. Was looking good and just basically didn't. Looks like we're going to see this even Uber push, and we're going to see a trade come out here. Blank's trade going a bit better now. I'd like to see Yellow Rat lead with this, but it looks like Shy is potentially overcommitted. And we're just going to reset him.
Fine.
Play this like a mid-fight.
They weren't quite able to capitalize on that. JKC lands on top of the combo there. Zaya and Mashiro both going to get brought down. And it's going to get so scrappy here. Only 5 players still alive. Make that 2. Sapphire is going to do what he can to resist Catfish's approach. He successfully brings him down. MG going down to Monty, and it's only the scouts on the side of Yellow Rat to make out of that fight alive.
They got real messy, real fast. Well played from those Yellow Rat scouts for prioritizing their life. Scouts are the late game carry class, so to speak, in these tough fights that are long drawn out. The soldiers use their ammo to move around and become out of position. The scout only gets stronger. So really good, really well played for them for staying alive there and cleaning up. Even if they did lose the medic, they did manage to get the Blanks Burgers medic.
Exactly. As Yellow Rat, it's just gonna stalemate out. They are aware that they're 2 rounds up. maybe just going to opt to relax a little bit on mid here. At least wait until they get the Uber. Then they can decide to advance.
Yeah, the even situation is not too bad to mentally refresh, chat things over. What are we going to do? How are we going to get these sacks? If the sack goes well, like, what are we thinking about doing after that? Probably integral for Blank's Burgers as they are rounds down, and integral for Yellow Rat to not throw any more rounds. So let's see how they do it. Both team soldiers have been pretty fantastic so far, but I think whatever team helps their soldiers a bit more will be the ones that will see that more immediate success. It looks like Shy's putting up an anti-sack trap.
This trap is so alien. I would be very impressed if that was to get anyone. Blank getting dropped down really low. Actually falls. Lilia forced to use the Uber here. It's going to end up being a trade of sorts, but the Ubers are just going to go out on complete opposite sides of the map. Only 3 players alive on Yellow right now. MG flanking. Manages to do so much damage. Lilia gets brought down by those rockets, and Monty's also to fall. Shy, the only survivor with 37 HP, maybe getting ran down by Blank's Burgers here. Really nice det. Mashiro on rollout. Unable to to deal with Shy, who is hanging out behind the combo there.
30 seconds now till the Banny universe has started itself. We do have a Uberad on red team, but Yellow Rat do have the point cap. Zobel is going in, kills the medic.
So sketchy. I mean, Zaya, sometimes he feels like he's safe, and then other times he's just like staring down the barrel of these Yellow Rat players. Like, it's so difficult for him. It's going to be a stalemate. 3 minutes left on the clock.
I can't remember what happened last mid. It's been too long now. I think I'm about 50 years old. So let's see with fresh new 50-year-old pensioner eyes how these teams play this.
And we're only 2
I do believe
minutes
it was
in.
explosive last time, so...
It was explosive indeed. As we're on Shy for this rollout. Shy getting dropped down to 60
this
HP.
time, which is very good, an improvement.
Yeah, decidedly not killing herself on rollout. Very good. MG deciding to go high, landing on top of Lilia, doing such great damage. Lilia getting brought down low. Deciding to pick up that closer health pack as the rest of Yellow Rat are going to take some space here. Catfish going to fall. Just wasn't really looking good there for Blank's Burgers. They weren't able to walk forward and support MG as he was bombing in. Just unfortunate there. Blank, he's going to see what he can do. Shy brings down Blank.
Might be seeing a repeat of that Snakewater last round, Tull, as their demo man, for the second time in this critical moment, has been caught out. Not necessarily meaning a free Uber, but it gives them so much more room to set up the stacks to get the force, leading to the free Uber. So let's see how they do this. He does have 3 seconds before he spawns, and Yellow Rat is a bit slow to mobilize this advantage.
It has evened out. They're going to see what they can do to send some players in. Maybe force out an Uber. Both Shy and JKC are going to fall. That's going to allow Blank's Burgers an opportunity to walk forward here. Zobal is sticking close to Shutter. Maybe going to look for an opportunity here to make a play onto the combo. He's going to jump around the corner, do a lot of damage. That's going to force out the Uber. Somehow, I mean, potentially they thought that was going to be a successful trade there. Monty taking a bit of a scrappy fight on the right side there. Ultimately not very successful for the side of Yellow Rat. Sepha, that said, brings down Catfish, but with Blank's Burgers using that Uber, Yellow Rat, they're not able to do much here. Megumi, a bit unsuccessful there.
Yellow Rat
Blank,
scouts.
stuck on last. Sepha. Oh, so close there, Zaya. Brings down Sepha. That was so close. That almost finished up this second map there. Sepha really on an absolute tear.
Yeah, that would have been one of the rounds of all time. Do have a slight Uber out here from Blank's Burgers, but did they have to space the chat? Looks like that they do.
Monty taking it aggressive. He's going to do a lot of damage to MG. He's going to push his advantage here, bringing down MG. He's going to look for the scout pick as well. He gets Catfish. Shy, dealing with the scout that's caught in. Megumi unfortunately falls to his stick, and that's going to be 3-player ad for the side of Yellow Rat. Despite Zobal and low HP, hopefully he'll get a few arrows here, and they're already in onto last. JKC hits a fantastic bomb, bringing down Zaya, and they're getting some early cap time here. It's only Blank alive with 2 spawners, and that's going to be the second map. Going the way of Yellow Rat, bringing things to 2-0. And,
Okay.
yeah.
So we were just both completely wrong, which is awesome. That was a bit of a slugfest, and the heat increased towards the end there. Yellow Rat had some pretty great mids though, I will say. And let's take a look at the logs, which are now on my screen.
Yeah. I mean, in that game, Cepha really demonstrated that he can be this key role on the side of Yellow Rat. Like this shot caller that's able to follow up on these aggressive bombs made by Dalton and JKC. Yeah, I just think that Yellow Rat really demonstrated how strong their combo can be on this second map. Whereas last game we saw maybe a bit of control coming out from Monty. It was more of a flank-centric game. Metalworks, we saw the complete opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the scouts on, it doesn't look like that the teams are. I've got the names right, but that's fine. Catfish and Megami had very, very rough games. I know that it was very stalematey, but like you said, Zephyr really played his role there. He did coordinate the team. Maybe not so much on the mids, as those types of players lean towards the projectile ends of things, but those pushes into the subsequent points, you can really tell Zephyr was putting in work for them, which is well played from him. Shy, I would say, definitely played better than Blank. Both demos were caught out at times, but Shy was the one who was caught out less, and she did have her Joker moment on last, which did save the entire round. Both soldiers, I'd say, were pretty even-steven, both of them having some pretty good impact and pretty good bombs. So I'd have to give it to Zephyr for being the X factor in this game.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we saw a lot of success coming off the back of Zobal's plays, but I feel like without that organized combo from Yellow Rat, it definitely wouldn't have been as successful as we were seeing things. And I mean, just looking at Lilia's stats here, managing to die only 6 times really shows how well protected she was from these 2 scouts from Cepha and Monty, just really putting up a wall to prevent Blank's Burgers from advancing. That said, Zaya does have some pretty crazy heal output there, channeling so many heals into their players to make sure that Blank's Burgers are able to find some success in these more drawn out fights.
Yeah, 100%. Probably not the nicest thing you want to see when your scout hasn't had the best game, but he's still taking 30% beam. I think my team thinks that every scrim that we play, but Shy got a lot of the resources, and Zephyr only took what he needed to. You could see him, he was fighting, he was fragging out, but I think he only took 22% of the heals there, which is pretty impressive for him because he's not a scout player at all. And Metalworks, whilst not as hazardous to a scout like Gullywash can be, it's not the easiest scout map to play. That said, it probably can go for their favor here. If you're not a typical scout main, you tend to focus and lean towards just playing your role. So perhaps the fact that it was harder for a scout made it difficult for Catfish to do what he usually does, and that could have been like a contributing factor. I don't remember who picked Metalworks, but if Yellow Rat picked Metalworks, it was a smart pick from them.
Blank's Burgers was the team to pick up Metalworks, so...
Well, disregard everything I just said then.
Yeah, it didn't look like it went quite in their favor here, as we are going into the third map, Bagel. I mean, the next 2 maps are both King of the Hill maps. We're going to see Bagel as this next map, and if Blank's Burgers do successfully take a map in this grand final, it will go to product after that. So we're going to see a bit of a change of pace. Might have to drink some water here if I'm planning on covering the chaos that is King of the Hill. Yeah, we might not see the same amount of stalemates. Bagel potentially has a more difficult to execute forward hold than a map like Product, or at least a less frequently occurring forward hold. And it is I would say it's a much more difficult demo map, Bagel. I feel like demo, has so much presence on product and has so much control over the point capture and running down the clock on product. But on Bagel, you're sort of caught between these two houses, and it can make things really awkward. So I'd really like to see both teams exercise some aggression on the backs of their soldiers yet again. What's your experience playing on Bagel? It's a great map. I'm personally a huge fan of Bagel. How do you feel about it?
I'll just say straight up, I love Bagel. I'm a very heal-hungry pocket scout, and then my team probably knows I'm a very aggro main caller. I love Bagel. I love how the point caps really quickly. I really like the structure of the map. I really like how things can bust open in this map, and I like how Bagel, CoF in general, kind of exposes a team's flaws, and conversely can expose a team's strength. I guess using expose in a positive context there is a bit outlandish. But anyway, I have scrimmed against both these teams on Bagel. Blank's Burgers do a bit better than you might credit them for regarding the Metalworks performance. Regarding the demo main point, I've yet to see a demo that likes Bagel. If you can find him, let me know, because I think we found a unique specimen here. But it's a bit tough, especially when you have good DM as demo in this map. You kind of feel a bit claustrophobic. It's very easy to overstep. It's really easy to overstep as demo on CoF to begin with, but Bagel just ups the ante completely. But I will say that's something that I think Blank isn't too bad about. If he gets caught out here, he's probably caught out for being punished as opposed to, I don't want to say actively feeding, but actively feeding. Soldiers can really bust this map open too. I know a few pocket players that really do enjoy this map. It can be tricky for the flank scout. He has to be a bit in the right place at the right time more than usually he does on the flank scout. And like you said about the forward holds here, the forward holds will be interesting. A lot of CoF is about burning down the time, giving up advantages and trading resources for them, poking them as they come through, but not necessarily disregarding that entire space. Let's see how these teams play it, as it's the first CoF map of the set. What's your prediction, Star?
I mean, I think that Blank's Burgers have it in them to at least get one map in this grand final. I think it won't be without its difficulties, though. I think it's going to go 3-2 in the way of Blank's Burgers. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think Blank's Burgers' mental is pretty good. When I scrimmed against them as well, we were rolling them, and they managed to bring back at least a 2-round lead. So I thought that was a really good thing to see. How they adapt to it, will it be gameplay, or will it be like a resource allocation? Will the Combo Scout be even more beam hungry than usual? Catfish loves the beam, gobbles it up. How will they play this? How will they adapt as the rounds go? That sort of thing I credit better to Blank in general. As you guys know, when you lose a round in CoF, resets everything, gives you a fresh start, blank slate. Yellow Rat can completely take over this game, especially Monty, if he just lacerates the flank. But yeah, I agree. 3-2 to Blank's Burgers. It should be a good one.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. I think we'll really have to watch out for the more DM-centric players going into this next map, as we do see things are starting off. We're going to be on Zobile's cam. Got the gunslinger out. I mean, it's a change of pace. We love to see it. Zobile.
Put it.
I actually love gunslinger on this map. I think it is really busted. MG is going to bring down the mini sentry, maybe communicating that to his team, and things are just going to break out a little bit here. Lilia going to try her best to keep Shy alive. Shy getting dropped down really low. Zobile, he's just setting things up. He's getting those buildings going, but he does fall. He gets bombed by MG in this side house here, and it just ultimately isn't that successful. Catfish and Mashiro, they on the back of that pick advance across, and yeah, Zobile, you know what? Back to the drawing board. I'm on Soldier now. How about let's troll a little bit less.
Benefit of the doubt, but they were cooking something and they were cooking nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that engineer pick, but it is even Ubers. Let's see how Yellow Rat play this. I'm expecting a trade coming out sooner rather than later.
Zaya,
actually,
they used their Uber and they were expecting a trade, but they just, I mean, there was no trade to be had. Lilia was nowhere near close enough to get forced by that, to get forced into that trade, and yeah, that's going to be a pretty easy recap. Monty bringing down Mashiro, and that's just going to allow Yellow Rat to lock down quite quite a firm forward hold here.
I don't
Blue
know what
still
that
getting their
was,
spawners here. Entering into left house. Zobal, he's going to do some really good damage here. He's going to back up a little bit. He's going to get caught in. He does so much damage. He brings down Mashiro. Trading. Megumi fortunately was there. So Shy brings down MG and Megumi is also to fall. Only Catfish alive with Zaya. And yeah, it was supposedly a sack wave, but it was a bit sketchy.
That's one way to call it. Yeah, what I really liked about Yellow Rat was that I believe that was a fear pop. I don't think that was coordinated at all. Don't put me in this engineer's camp again, dude. As I was saying before, I was really interrupted by what I'm saying right now, is that they played it really well. It didn't seem like a sack attempt, it just seemed like feeding one by one. So he will see the proper even Uber exchange, but I would like to see what the sentry does after this trade. So let's see.
Blanksburgers, no, Catfish falls. Blanksburgers are taking so long to advance here. Shy, in the confusion, ends up sitting on point there. Sepha ends up successfully trading. Sepha's forced to back up here, and Yellow Rat, despite being down Shy, are able to dictate the pace of this at least a little bit. They only lose one, and Sepha's back in, doing a lot of damage to MG. MG gets brought down by JKC. Unfortunately, JKC falls, but considering blue team has the point, this is ultimately in red team's favor. Zobal getting dropped down quite weak on the gunslinger. The engineer, they're going to cap things out here as blue team. They're still waiting for a player. Unfortunately, they deny Monty, though. Catfish immediately runs in, gets two-shot by Sepha. And with Mashiro on the right side there, they're not really equipped to keep these houses. Lilia, oh, unfortunately, there's a bit of a collapse there. MG coming at it from the other side, and just really unfortunate there for Yellow Rat's going to allow blue team to run down the clock a little bit further here.
Maybe they should have had a mini sentry to deny the sack there. That would have been pretty fantastic, I think.
Or just like a soldier to counter bomb.
Soldier could be like kind of cool. We don't see that class like too often.
Yeah, unfortunately. Red team, they do manage to cap it out pretty easily and then send players in. Zobal's going to fall despite red team having the cap, and JKC is also dead. Monty's going to bring down Blank, but he's also going to fall. Really weird approach to that fight coming out from Yellow Rat. Capping the point and then sending a sack wave in isn't exactly how I would play that. But
no,
you know what? When you bring an engineer to these fights, it's not the strangest thing that's going on.
No, completely right about that.
This is so strange. Like Shy's gonna fall to the bomb of MG. Mashiro, unfortunately, doesn't force out the fight. Megumi. Ooh, doesn't get spotted. Megumi's on top of Lilia. Lilia doesn't use and gets killed. Oh, that's so unfortunate there. They just weren't able to spot Megumi come through the left house there, and it's just too late.
We prefaced this at the start of the game that when things get messy and things get desperate, Megumi and Mashiro will go for these medic picks. Looks like we got the force out though. Not the worst thing in the world from Yellow Rat onto Blanksburgers. They just cut the point back. Even an Uber situation, but Blanksburgers do have the space for this. We're going to see possibly like a bust out attempt coming from top left.
Yeah. Looks like Yellow Rat are going to try and break through. MG and Catfish and Blank both go down. Shy doing so much damage, bringing down 3 in that quick fight there to break out. Yeah, that's going to allow Zobal to get a lot of space here.
Mega Me can't grind, she doesn't have the Lost and Basher.
Mega Me. Megumi should definitely change her alias to that. That's pretty clean. Dalton trades out with Megumi in lobby there. Very unfortunate for Zobal. He's going to be out for the count for a little while here. Yellow Rat's going to be playing a 5v6. And they don't even get it to overtime. It's looking quite sketchy here. Zaya is going to bring out the Uber. JKC doesn't quite get brought down. Yellow Rat successfully, despite losing Sepha, are able to somewhat kite out that Uber charge. It could have been much more disastrous for them, but Catfish, he's on Zobal's case. Shy needs to really salvage things here. Needs to take out Blank, and JKC is also going to fall. But Lilia, with Lilia going down, it's just Zaya charioting two scouts across the map. That's the first round of Bagel going the way of Blank's Burgers.
Tal, that's really brutal to lose that as you're getting so close to the Uber, and you had, I think, 2 seconds left? 10 seconds? Whatever it was close, so...
Certainly quite sketchy there. Yellow Rat probably chalking that up to a little bit of miscoordination, a little bit of beef, but they're gonna reset for this second round. Blank gonna try and output a good amount of damage. Mashiro's going deep, gonna try and land on top of Lilia, gets a nice direct, bringing down Lilia. That's gonna open things up. Zobal, he tries to get behind blue team, bringing down Blank and Mashiro, but he's also going to fall. Shy, gonna fall down on the other side of that fight, and it's two scouts on the side of Yellow Rat trying to piece up Catfish, and he's down. Served fresh with a wedge of lime.
Messy is the least of the word to describe that. That got real brutal, real fast. Seeing a bit of VM in the all chat here. Zobal, guys, look at your med, by the way. That's, tension's running a bit high, I can see, from the Yellow Rat team, which is fair enough. I'd probably say the same thing, if not worse. Even Ubers now, and we have the point capped. Now, Blank have to be the ones to aggress and make the play here, which is Catfish. Getting the beam here, getting that like early cap time. Blank's doing a great job blocking out. Soldier coming in from left side.
Blank just doesn't quite have the support he needs. He's dropped down so weak. Zai actually eats a pipe there. And heals are very much in favor of Yellow Rat as they look like they might try and cap this out, but Monty's going to fall dead to a trap. Shy's going to have to match this aggression somehow, bringing down Catfish, and now it's two scouts down on either side. Red, they're going to try and cap things out here. Sepha's on top of Blank. Blank's being brought down to 5 HP, and they're going to do their best to chase down some of these players. MG's going to be behind the combo on the tail side of this.
That's tricky.
Yeah. So, very poorly coordinated by Yellow Rat there.
Bit of a panic play there. I thought Blank died for sure. He hit them with 3 servings of Bob's Butcher's meat, but he somehow lives on 5 HP, and he also walks away from him. I'm not sure what that was. Probably a bit of mind beef as well.
Yeah,
I see the sack attempt coming out from Yellow Rat.
Yellow Rat. Sepha's the first to go down. Monty breaks away behind them. Shy falls. Maybe they can clean up Monty as well. They can't. Zobal, 70 HP, goes back to spawn. An unsuccessful sack wave. And Yellow Rat, they're building up their Uber again. We see they have slight Uber ad here. They're going to see what they can do. MG gets brought down weak, going for an early pick into house. Unsuccessful. They have to give Yellow Rat the ground here. Monty zooming up into house, getting brought down so low, somehow not dead. He does eventually fall to Mashiro. Bit of a sketchy play there.
But it's not the best thing because when they had the force out about 20 to 30 Uber, and I don't think they were grinding properly because both scouts died in that sack attempt. So they do have the point. I'd like to see a trade come out. Zobal was on the medic, unsuccessful.
Yeah, not very good. Blank's Burgers going to use this opportunity to walk up the right side. A trade is going to come out. Catfish.
Nice reflash.
Gets a nice meat shot. Monty goes down on the other side of this fight, and it's not looking good for Yellow Rat. That said, Sepha on top of Zai. Megumi is also going to fall with Blank dying, and it's just chaos. Blank's Burgers, they're forced to send both of their soldiers in. Mashiro and MG bringing down Lilia and Zobal. They're going to see what they can do to wrap things up here. It's just Soldier City. Blank's Burgers able to pick up quite a few picks here, and Yellow Rat, they're forced to run away.
Very tough when your scout gets picked early and the other one just gets crunched. It's 3-8 for the soldiers there, no Spaniard. Let's see how they play this. 1 minute left for the blue team. They're doing a pretty good job so far, holding off the assault of Yellow Rat.
Ooh,
MG goes down earlier than you'd like to.
Yeah, that's really not ideal start for Blank's Burgers. They're going to be down a soldier here. Blank's trying to retreat. He gets shot in the back by Sepha, and Zai is forced to defend himself. Killing JKC, but it's only Zaya and Megumi up for Blank's Burgers with MG as a spawner, and that's going to allow Red Team to set up maybe a forward hold here. Maybe without JKC, they don't feel quite confident enough to do it. Shy's setting up some early sticks, trying to stop their advance here.
Not
Blue
the worst
team.
thing in the world, even Ubers. They have a lot of time to burn here. They just need to play this properly, not overcommit players here, not trade too early. Let them cap a bit, cut this a tug of war, and here comes a trade.
Trade goes out. Megumi is first to fall. First casualty of this trade going the way of the yellow rat flank. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though. Monty is going to fall, but Zobal jumping on top of point here brings down MG. Things look slightly better for Yellow Rat here, despite not having much heals on the side of Sepha. Sepha might go down here if Catfish is able to wrap around house. Oh, it's very close. Blanksburgers really need to be careful here. They do pick up the cap. And Yellow Rat, they have to wait for JKC before they have a shot at a successful push here. Shy being holding so close here, somehow not dying. MG forced to have a salvage bomb. Zobal brings down Mashiro, and it's just looking a little bit scrappy for the Blanksburgers players. They're down 2, and MG is not looking too strong. That said, he brings down Sepha, and things are starting to even out. Monty, he's forced to backtrack, looking into house here, brings down MG. And with only 10 seconds left on the clock, Yellow Rat really have to do something soon. Sepha's still out for the count for another few seconds here. He's going to come out as a spawner bit. Blanksburgers, they're going to use their Uber charge in. Lilia doesn't have the Uber charge, and that's just going to be the second round, probably going the way of Blanksburgers. A lot of the Yellow Rat players...
That's painful.
Yeah, they weren't aware of the state of those Ubers just then, but Sepha, he's on top of them. Sepha brings down Catfish. Ooh, very, very close there. It's only MG and Zaya left alive, with JKC on point with Lilia as a spawner. Running it.
They have the Uber. They need to just fight, and they need to coordinate focus fire. They need to do it fast, but it's very difficult for this guy who's spawning. Yeah, this is like checkmate style.
They need to do something here. Uber comes out from Blanksburgers. Any pick is a good pick here. If they are able to solidify this cap, they are. Gonna go for 2-0 in this third map here. If Blanksburgers can just capture the point, can lock in another round for them, that can be this map going the way of Blanksburgers. On Blank for this rollout. Gonna see what he can do. Gonna opt for some long range spam, as is common on this map, trying to trap off Shy. Taking advantage of her aggression. Shy does pick up Catfish though. MG taking a lot of damage in these bombs, gonna capture JKC in that left house there quite successfully. Zobal hitting a nice rocket onto MG. I mean, it seems as though Yellow Rat are able to control these houses so well, Dante.
They do a good job at controlling them and winning the early fights. I would really like to see them consolidate after that though, as the soldier basically got in for free and killed the medic with 0 resistance. Speaking of resistance though, we might see Zephyr go for a bit of a cheeky play. He's a cheeky player. He comes from a quick drop down and he's in. He's close and he does not score, unfortunately.
Yeah, not very successful there. Full team of Blanksburgers. Well aware that Zaya needs protected as they are looking for this Uber advantage push into point. They jump through house here. JKC might be caught. It looks like he is. They're on top of Shy as well. Megumi's able to take out Shy, and it's not looking good for Yellow Rat here. They're chasing down their red players, and Lilia does fall as well.
Oh, that's really
Mashiro? Can Mashiro bring down Monty? He can.
That's tragic, Tal.
Yeah, that is absolutely awful. The worst case scenario. Maybe not quite realizing that Blanksburgers was going to have the Uber advantage there. I mean, it didn't look like they were well positioned for it, Dante.
No. We're seeing another Uber coming up from Blank. They've got ways they can deal with this. They can bait out the 4-man sack, or if the Yellow Rat medic is caught, they can very well just go into the musing, which looks to be what's happening.
JKC brings down Megumi. The other side of that fight, they're going to do their best.
Goes down.
Zephyr brings down Catfish. Somehow Lilia is still alive. Zobal brings down MG, and they've sort of butchered this push by Blanksburgers. They're only down Shy, and Yellow Rat, they're able to get some point control back. They don't want to deny Shy though. Mashiro, well aware of that, makes a play into house, brings down Monty. It's going to end up being a trade. They're forced to capture the point now at risk of dropping too much time to Blanksburgers, and they've denied Monty.
Time is pretty even Steven right now. Yellow Rat do have the Uber. I want to see them use this into them. Ideally kill the medic. Looks like that could be happening.
Very close. JKC almost hitting that rocket onto Zaya. transferring that into a sack. The Lilia Uber is going to come out.
The control point is being contested.
Shy, gonna jump in, see what she can do. She does get brought down by Blank. Well aware that they need to do something with this Uber if they're gonna transfer that advantage into anything usable. Mashiro, unfortunately, beefs a rocket, but Blank's Burgers, they're there to back up that kill onto Lilia. That said,
pretty messy tile for
yeah.
Yellow Rat. They had the Uber there. They elected to turn it into a sack, which is fair enough, but then they got forced after that. So, kind of the worst of both worlds to happen there. Looks like they will get the point capped back. Blanksburg is doing a great job of just flinging bodies at the medic, hoping at some point one of the paintballs will stick.
Yep, at some point they will. This cap is sort of going either way right now. Shy taking so much damage alongside Zephyr. They are able to capture this, but they're not looking at House. Mashiro's just in on top of Lilia, and Lilia gets brought down. Zobal hits a very nice shot, but it's just too late.
It is too late. They need to have some sort of plan when the houses are open, or at least be aware that it's open, that can potentially happen.
Zobal, he gets a lot of damage on it. Zaya almost drops to Zephyr. Fortunately, manages to use in time. Basically a free Uber as Lilia, as a spawner, spent over 10 seconds waiting to start charging that Uber charge with someone, starting to heal. And yeah, despite getting that force, they're in no better position as they were in before.
No, we'll have to see a dry fight coming out from this Blank team, respecting that they've been taking the space back from them, backing up a bit. Zephyr does go down very early here. Mashiro going for his 20 millionth time flank with a medic. He gets her.
Oh, it's so close here. These little soldier skirmishes that are breaking out, it's just Zobile alive now. They run him down, and yeah, it's a pretty convincing fight going the way of Blank's Burgers. Yellow Rat, they're seemingly unable to lock down any of these picks. A lot of the blue players are dropping down real low, but they're just not able to transfer any of that damage into kills.
Absolutely. We're going to see an Uber out here. What are they going to do with Blank's Burgers? Using it, sending it.
They jump Blank forward. Shy, seemingly caught by herself. Catfish, gonna bring her down. Catfish is gonna get dropped down real weak though. Gonna go behind them. Lilia, unfortunately, was dropped down on the other side of that, and unless Zobal's able to pull off something, that's gonna be this third map. Very convincingly going the side of Blank's Burgers. I mean, in a not very predictable turn of events, I thought Yellow Rat was going to be able to pull off something there. I mean, that was their pick. But so far, we've seen, like, Metalworks was Blank's Burgers picks that went the way of Yellow Rat, and now Yellow Rat's pick, Bagel, went the way of Blank's Burgers. Just seems as though they're playing each other's game here.
Oh, don't look at the medic death stats, Tal. Don't.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the story of that game was just Blank's Burgers finding so many flanks onto Yellow Rat's combo, and Yellow Rat, they're just not able to lock down these side houses for more than like 10 seconds at a time. Like, anytime they got control of a side house, they just needed to immediately forfeit it because they were taking so much damage.
No, absolutely. They just didn't have a plan. It's fine that happens. That's going to happen. Like, disadvantage situations in Tier 2 are absolutely going to happen, but they had kind of no plan for it. Honestly, it looked like a pug team. I hate to say it, but it looked like a pug team playing against a well-rehearsed team. It did get close in the first round, but you could see how Blank's Burgers adapted to that. Probably in those post-round chats, they found a way to patch up those potential weaknesses. It didn't look like Yellow Rat really had an answer to anything that game, which is tragic for Yellow Rat, fantastic for Blank's Burgers, as we head into another cloth map. Product. What do you think about Product, Tal?
I mean, unfortunately, I think we might see a bit more of the same. I mean, Lilia just hasn't had a chance to really use these Ubers. We saw 15 Ubers come out of Zaya, and so many of those were successfully resulting in Lilia's death. I mean, it looked like every time they were trying to get any advantage on the side of Yellow Rat, it was just quickly impeded by Blanks Burgers. So, yeah, to answer your question, I think product could be more of the same. I think it's going to go to 5 maps.
I think so too.
And that's us.
Yeah.
We're back. We're back on the cam. Hello. Yeah. What? Just an unbelievable map. Blanks Burgers are really demonstrating that they can be really coordinated on these more drawn-out fights, and we saw glimpses of it in Metalworks, where every so often when the fight was drawn out, we saw Zaya was able to completely sustain his team throughout the fights. Like, Zaya almost achieving 1200 heals over the last 2 maps. Just doing so much work, despite like survivability being a real question with Zobile and JKC constantly on top of the combo. It's really scary. And I do not envy Lilia's position right now. There's probably a good deal of debating going on in the Yellow Rat comms, trying to work out what went wrong and why.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, medic deaths can be on the medic, can be on the combo scout, can be on the entire team to begin with. That was very hard. I don't think any medic, like you said, would want to play that game. That kind of looked like an ePugs Bagel game, to be honest, where they just bomb you over and over and over and you get blamed for it. I will say, it didn't look like there was any real attempt at a 4-man sack. It didn't look like there was much attempt at playing around the enemy Ubers and the trades. If there was, it was haphazard, and you saw how that went. It just didn't look like that Yellow Rat kind of knew how to play Bagel to begin with, and Blank did. Now, keep in mind, product is a bit of an older map, and we do have 2 soldier players on both teams that love their sniper. So that could potentially be an X factor. I personally hate sniper. I'm a hit scan player, but I hate sniper. But we might see it. And if we're going to see it, we're going to see it now.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Yellow Rat can adapt to this new version of Blanks Burgers that they didn't see in the previous 2 maps. What do you think Blanks Burgers have to do to sustain these wins? Or do you think they are sort of just gonna be happy to ready up straight away going into product?
Yeah, totally. It's a good question to ask. Much like TF2, how do we play these advantages? Do we just go straight? Do we consolidate? If I'm Catfish, I'm just sending it. We have the momentum now. We just won Bagel consistently, and we're going into another cloth map. Mishira's pretty good on sniper. Zobal's pretty good on sniper, but the spirits are high, and the spirits for Yellow Rat team isn't as high. So I would say full send it if you're Blanks Burgers. Let's cook these guys like really fast. If I am Yellow Rat here, look, product is different to Bagel. It is a cloth map, but it doesn't have those nasty flanks that can happen. I find it a bit easier to deny soldiers playing Combo Scout on this one. I don't know how it's going to go. It could be a 3-0 either way. I'm just going to say it's a 3-2 to the way of Blanks Burgers. Let's find out. What about you, Tal?
I think that it's still going to go the way of Blanks Burgers, but I do think it'll be closer, like you said, 3-2, with a little bit more of an open map, with Demo having a little bit more freedom. I feel as though Yellow Rat are just going to have a little bit more control here, allowing Shy off the leash, maybe going for another sort of... going for some experimental demo plays. I really want to see it happen. So yeah, I think I agree. 3-2 going the way of Blanks Burgers, but not without a bit of challenge. I think we'll see some double overtime here. We are going to go into our first round.
Let's see how they do this. There's thankfully no engineer, which is good. The first fight can go really bad, really fast. I would say it depends on the demos. Oh, we're seeing a fast one here.
Shy
already.
doing some really good damage here. Really fending off Blanks Burgers, trusting that her team is going to be able to fend off Mashiro, but it is not the case. Lilia is going to go down. And it's only 3 players on the side of Blanks Burgers now. Not much health between them, as Sepha and Monty, they've been let loose, bringing down Megumi and Catfish. MG brings down Monty, and Sepha, he's the only one alive.
Yeah, that got ugly real fast, pal. I wasn't expecting Mishiro to full send it. I know that I just said as a team they should do that, but that was a bit fast for my taste. It got messy really quickly, he killed the medic, and the resulting collapse went the way of Yellow Rat. Looks like they're going to get the cap for this as well. They do lose JKC, but they traded for a demo here, which is fantastic. And here is the sniper from Zobal.
Yeah, Zobal on the sniper, sitting on China right now. He's going to see what he can do. Mishiro going to do his best to disrupt Zobal's sightline there, but Sefa very wise to be protecting the sniper there. Zobal going to go for some pot shots, actually bringing down Zaya, headshotting the scout as well.
Standing still city, population, blue team's medic, and by extension scout. We do have the counter sniper coming up now. Well, we have a counter coming up now, but it's not a sniper. It's Mishiro with his Beggars Bazooka. So I don't think they've probably rehearsed how to deal with sniper, but they're just gonna make it messy. I don't think any team in the history of TF2 has rehearsed sniper on product versus Beggars Bazooka. So
they're gonna go for a sack wave here. They do a lot of damage to Shy. Shy gets brought down, but they lose 3 on the side of Blanksburgers pretty early on. Megumi, sort of stuck in, ends up forcing out the Uber. Ultimately a successful sack for Blanksburgers, as they are going to have Uber ad. However, the fact that Yellow Rat have been able to run down this clock so much already is really not a good sign for Blanksburgers. Zobal is still there, holding things down from crates. Zaya does cross that sight line. It's a little bit sketchy there. Zobal does fall from the long range spam, but Mishiro is also going to fall. That might... Ooh, Shy brings down Catfish. If Blanksburgers do want to use this Uber charge, it looks like they do. Let's see what they can do in terms of picking up some players here. Blank hitting some very strange pipes onto Sefa, and MG landing on top of Lilia. Lilia just not fast enough to get out there. Maybe not having the foresight to anticipate soldier bombs. Either way, it's not going very well for the side of Yellow Rat. Blanksburgers...
Yeah, I'd say that was the greatest Uber of all time, but MG manages to make a miracle out of nothing there. Or, like you said, the medic just wasn't expecting it. I think it was a bit of all three. I was leaving with that, and now we're seeing the even dry fight happening. Zobal was off sniper, back to soldier.
Ooh,
and
a little bit scrappy here.
Shy goes down.
Yeah. I mean, Yellow Rat trying to dry fight there without having the full support of their team. Now a little bit of a flank brawl is happening. Zelda gets brought down by Mishiro, and Monty's forced to back up. Blanksburgers maintain control of the point, with their Uber advantage almost coming into play. See what they do here. Zaya getting some valuable arrows onto the soldiers. Gonna see whether they can keep up that momentum. They use the Uber charge out. They go straight to Cliff. They don't track the red combo whatsoever. Mishiro brings down Zobal and tries to jump out. Sefa brings down Zobal in return, and ultimately it's much more beneficial for Yellow Rat as they're getting Uber and they're getting ready to advance in onto this point. Hopefully capping this out for free, as Blanksburgers are down both soldiers. They sort of have to forfeit the point control.
What do you call it? I don't know, like a 1-up or something, like a freebie. That was a complete freebie. They wasted their Uber into nothing there, and they perfectly killed the soldiers who came in one by one as a panic play. Not olive leaf, I don't know what the term is, but basically this is what Yellow Rat needs and wants. Let's see what they do with this. Time is starting to tick here. We have even players. Demo goes down real low for this. I'd like to see a late trade coming out from Yellow Rat.
So sketchy here. They're baiting point quite successfully. Lilia's going to get brought down really low by Mishiro. They are going to end up using the Uber charge. But, I mean, this isn't the force that Yellow Rat are particularly keen on. If they're able to kite out Blue's Uber here, it's actually going to be quite good for them. Shy does fall, but with 18 seconds left on the clock, they really need to make a play here. Blanksburgers. They bring down Shy, but they need to bring down more in order to cap out this point safely. They bring down Mishiro and Monty, and they do successfully cap it out. Zaya, he needs to be protected now if they want to keep this point. Yellow Rat, only 8 seconds left on the clock, and it's basically even Ubers, Dante.
That was pretty scrappy. It was going bad for Yellow Rat. I really liked that they did manage to get their medic out safely here. Looks like we're going to see a bit of a point action play.
Ooh,
Catfish goes down to
Shy.
Shy
taking so much damage. Ultimately, the crossbow is what takes her out, but they lose 3 on the side of Blank's Burgers. They lose Shy, but it's just not going their favor at all. Looks like they're potentially team wiping here. Zai's the only one left to tell the tale, and unless they're quick to get to point, it looks like the first round going the way of Yellow Rat. It is.
Yeah. The early sniper, I think, rattled Blank's Burgers a bit. Will they run it again? Will they consider it? Will we have Beggar's Bazooka? That was a bit better from Yellow Rat, I will say. Playing to protect your medic a bit more. Surprisingly, that helps a lot when you're trying to win TF2. There's no sniper on this side for either teams, so let's just see how this dry fight plays out. Again, I think it'll be dependent on the demos and how they take damage, how do they play around it.
Yeah, Shy gonna do her best to stop their advance, maybe to stop them supporting Mashiro. Mashiro's gonna cross over very shortly. He goes high, landing on China, actually make that landing on Lilia. Lilia's gonna fall as well as Zobile and Shy, and they only pick up 2 scouts on the side of Blank's Burgers. Monty and Sepha still alive. Oh, the pistol. Monty brings down both soldiers on the side of Blank's Burgers, and Sepha, he manages to pick up the medic. Zaya channeling that full buff into Blank. They're going to have full Uber advantage here, just waiting on some players to catch up with the rest of their players.
We have sniper back on Zobal.
They need to be careful
and
here.
Comes the sack attempt.
Zobal picks China. Shy.
They use.
They do use. A successful sack attempt, hopefully. Lily is in a position here not to die to any players. Shy falls, but I mean, Shy's 2-2-7 scoreline doesn't really demonstrate how much of an impact she's having right now. I mean, every death seems like it's coming at severe cost to Blank's Burgers. That said, MG, he's going to do his best here. He brings down JKC. Both soldiers are going to trade out. Mashiro brings down Monty. Going to go for another shot. Unfortunately, misses Zobal here. Zobal, well aware that Mashiro is sitting there somewhere. Oh, unfortunately falls down there before he can take that shot. And despite Yellow Rat having the point here, they are down Monty, which is going to slow down their re-aggression here. That said, Shy's going to just push in anyway. The Uber's going to come out, hopefully trying to get something here, but I mean, just not a successful Uber for Yellow Rat at all. They lose 3.
Definitely not. I don't know if they thought it was out or not. They did mess it up completely. MG goes for it.
Oh, that was so close. They just weren't able to spot him. That could have been so nasty, Dante.
It would have been an actual soap opera with the full ad here for Blank's Burgers. We are getting some point presence off from Yellow Rat. And here's the use. Trying to catch the medic. Doesn't really look like they're going to get it. Now they're just cleaning up any lost sheep that have been
Monty's the only one to get caught by that.
And we're just leapfrogging Ubers with this, with the point captured.
Yeah. Now, they do have time to wait for Monty here. They are advancing, but they don't quite have the Uber charge yet. Monty breaking out of right side. He spots a scout. Nice 2-shot onto Megumi there. Yellow Rat slowly advancing here. Nice rocket onto Blank. Managed to bring down Blank. The Uber does come out, but what a great defense, making sure no one falls there. Zobal, fantastic rocket.
That was a good rocket. Well done from Blank's Burgers, turning the... I suppose that was a sack setup in the first place, but it started to look bad and they were...
Ooh, Zobal, he's holding close here. Brings down Catfish, does a lot of damage to the demo. Brings down Blank as well. Zobal, he's doing so much work here. Monty brings down MG on the other side of the fight. They're just completely locking out Blank's Burgers with this forward hold.
Zaya got forced.
They got forced. It's actually catastrophic.
It was a double drop, but that's really, really bad for Blank's Burgers. And we're seeing a proper forward hold set up by Yellow Rat as well. Should we give them some pretty good time? Here we go with Blank's Burgers 4-man sack attempt. MG goes down, Shira goes down, Megami goes down.
Oh no.
And Blank and Zephyr go down. So
I mean, if you're only getting Zephyr for that, at least you're getting something, right?
But at least you're getting something, but yeah.
It's just devastating. Blank's Burgers, they just can't break this forward hold at all. They need 1 kill, and that's going to allow Yellow Rat to respect them a little bit here. Mashiro on the sniper is going to probably swap back onto Soldier here. He does. MG. Some long-range spam. Maybe waiting for a more opportune moment. JKC forced to go back and grab the pack here. A little bit of a brawl happening. This flank Mashiro brings down JKC. Unfortunately, without the buff, he's not standing much of a chance.
Z goes low.
Zephyr.
He's a trade.
Not able to defend before the trade going out. JKC is going to be down on the side of Yellow Rat, so maybe their post isn't in the best position. Shy, however, hitting really good pipes. Zobal's going to be pretty quick to go down, but Monty, he's on top of the combo. He brings down Blank, he brings down Zaya, and despite Zephyr and Lilia going down, it looks like this could be going the way of Blank's Burgers.
That was a really messy fight. It looked like a Monty massacre for a sec, then Shy pulls out the katana and disrespects his entire family. Even Ubers here, Blank's Burgers do get the cap. Let's just see a dry fight. I want to see them take the point early with some pressure on the beam, on the scout with the beam. Looks like they're trying to do this. Good spam from Zobal.
Doing a great job here. Slowing down Blank's Burgers from approaching. It's a great rocket onto Zaya, popped up by Zephyr, and it's just completely clean for these Yellow Rat players. They're able to sweep up the rest of Blue as if they're nothing. They lose 3 in the process, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Catfish aggressing from concrete. They need to be able to defend it. Zephyr does. Zaya's the only one alive on the side of Yellow Rat. Yellow Rat, they're able to wait for Shy before capping out this point.
So well played from Zobal there. Complete MVP all-star performance in that bomb. I know it's not probably the craziest air shot, but it's a clinical, clean, textbook air shot. You have to take those free 2-pointers when you get them.
Shy,
Shy on the heavy weapons guy with a full Uber out here could actually work out for Yellow Rat.
We saw Shy do this on the preliminary final. So far, it looks to be somewhat successful. Mashiro and Blank both falling. And now they've got a heavy to deal with. They've got 2 soldiers and a heavy to ground through. And with full point control, what do they do against Shy? Shy's just mowing them down. She unfortunately gets mowed down by the 2 scouts, and you can't help but think some demo spam would have been more beneficial there.
Yeah, you really cannot help but think that. I was a bit... Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but they have lost the point, and now Blank's Burgers have full Uber ad, and 20 seconds left to burn. It's up to Yellow Rat to make this move here. They need to get this quick force out and then play the resulting Uber. They do get the quick force out though. Could go well for Yellow Rat. Let's see how they play this. Mashiro is dropped. Zephyr is in.
Ooh, Zephyr.
Back shots for MG. And with this player ad, someone needs to touch the point.
Right. Monty, he's on top of them here. He brings down Catfish, he brings down Blank, he brings down Megumi. He also brings down Zaya, and it's a 4K for MG, bringing that to 2-0. Yellow Rat 1 round away from winning the season, Dante.
Wow. Yeah, Monty went crazy in that last spot. That was like something you see like in a frag video. He did really, really well. Just understanding all he has to do is just play it clean and kill people. Zobal went great too. Not sure about the heavy there, but you know, I'm sure like teams have the strat for this. Let's see this mid again. I'm expecting a quick bomb from a soldier to open up the map.
Drop down weak. He's playing against Mashiro here. Brings down Mashiro, but they lose JKC. They're slowing down the fight a little bit because Lilia is so weak. But with Monty and Zephyr let loose, MG and Megumi are both going to fall. Looks like it's going to be a pretty substantial mid-fight win for Yellow Rat, despite not being able to build up their Uber quite as fast as Blank's Burgers.
Yeah,
I mean, Yellow Rat are anticipating even Ubers here. Let's see if Blank's Burgers are able to spot them.
Considering that you got the potential spot ad, or you can check into the Solemn Vow. Bit of a tall ask.
I would definitely try and check for the Solemn Vow in between fights like these. Like, it's just so scrappy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to tell.
Evens out anyway.
It does even out. Both soldiers going in. They're going to force out the Uber. JKC is going to fall.
Well played from JKC there. And Zobal living is fantastic.
Zobal
This could get messy.
sticking behind them here. They do know he's there. Blank, well aware, brings down Zobal. I mean, Blank's Burgers, they do capture the point, but they lose Megumi in the process. Yellow Rat forcing out their Uber. I mean, it's sort of ideal for Yellow Rat here. MG, they just don't see him though. He brings down Lilia, Zephyr, and Monty. Make that a 4K. JKC also going down. The soldiers being let loose on Blank's Burgers. really going to solidify that push. MG,
Yeah.
what a fantastic play.
MG must have the stream open in the background, or his partner's watching, because he was not happy with what was said and what happened at the end of the last round. He just went crazy there.
Yeah, love him to death. Love him to death.
And the
Mashiro
medic
brings
goes
down Lilia. I mean, I just don't think they were spotting that. Mashiro hiding in secret. They bring down Shy as well, but Zaya not in a position to protect himself. I mean, that's the first rule of Koth, right? The moment you get a medic pick, you need to be running with your tail between your legs, because you better expect a sack wave to be coming in.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably like textbook tier 2 101. When your medic dies, you already know what they're about to do. So you guys need to handle this accordingly. Good to see this dry fight happening though. Zephyr taking a lot of really early space, which is great to see. Holding the high ground here, denying any potential bombs that can come. He comes that potential bomb. Does he deny it? He does. Fantastic.
Shiro
Great
gets
rest.
brought down alongside Catfish. It's looking good for Yellow Rat here. Zobal's in a prime position to defend Lilia from these oncoming bombs. Mashiro goes down, and it's just looking pretty easy for Yellow Rat to take this point. Maybe transition into a forward hold if they're feeling confident. They are not. Shy looking to climb up cliff there, but without the support of the team, it's not going to be successful. They're just going to back off to point. Blanks Burgers with Mashiro on sniper now. See what he can do.
Ooh, Monty goes down. Shy goes
Brings
down.
down Shy as well. Go for a third, my
Here
boy.
comes the Uber. This trade is tough.
He brings
JKC
down
goes
JKC.
down.
Get another one.
Bro, what's this guy doing here? IM's happening right now. That trade was a desperation trade. They already had lost players for that. So it's just not going to go well with the post. But yeah, Mashiro, I don't know what to say. Yeah, get him on Team Falcons instead of Monesy, because he went pretty crazy there.
Inter-game shit talk here. Mashiro brings down Lilia as well. It's just going so well for Yellow Rat, for Blanks Burgers here. Yellow Rat forced to send out a sack wave. Trying to get Zai. Zai's brought down so weak. JKC is there. Manages to find the kill. They bring down Catfish and Zaya as well. Maybe they can bring down another. Zobal gets taken out by Mashiro, slowing down that sack wave. Shy grinding with Lilia. With the sashimi tar. Chopping that shit up.
Not what you want to happen if you're Yellow Rat. That sniper surprise was a nasty surprise. And they have 20 seconds left, no Ubers here, so Blanks Burgers need to just consolidate and let Yellow Rat fall into their crosshairs, play this DM fight. Nice shot from Mashiro.
He's doing so much work this
Channeling his
life.
Highlander player for this product game. And he gets a great kill on Zobal. It's not looking good for Yellow Rat for this round.
I mean, they just can't do anything against Mashiro here. He brings down Shy. Just crazy work. It seems as though Yellow Rat, the moment they peek and one of them die, they're just not peeking all at the same time. Not able to capitalize off that. MG brings down 3, make that 4.
And
Lilia's also going to go
checkmate.
down. Was that 5 actually? No, it was 4. Production got a little excited in my ear just then. So we are going into a 4th round. We're going to be on Shy this mid. 2-1. Yellow Rat only 1 round away from taking this grand final. It's going to see what they can do to bring control back into their favor here. Zobal doing some early damage. Going to see if he can hit a rocket. He brings down Mashiro. Shy and Lilia do also go down though. It's not looking good for Yellow Rat here as Blanks Burgers, they're all advancing on top of the team. JKC and Monty both falling. Sapphire is forced to make some sort of salvage play. Megumi is there. Just Zobal alive here. And he can't really aggress without the support of his team. So he's running back to spawn. Blanks Burgers convincing mid-fight.
Yeah, that initial onslaught and brawl, they did get that early pick on the soldier, but how the things went after that doesn't exactly inspire me with confidence. It was like really messy. They were kind of scrambling, to be honest, to deal with them. Mashiro still is on sniper and has the point cap. The annoying thing about sniper is that you have to make a move on him quickly, or else he will just take those shots, especially in pop where it's all about burning down the point plate.
Ooh, MG waddling onto point, trying to defend it. They do bring down Monty, and the Uber comes out for Blanks Burgers. They're going to see what they can pick up here. A lot of the players on Yellow Rat are falling really weak. Zephyr and Shy bringing down MG, Megumi, and Mashiro.
The best man won, you bomb-throwing drunk.
Looks pretty good for Yellow Rat here. Only 3 up. Catfish, Blank, and Zaya. Let's see what they can do to defend the point here. Yellow Rat, they're going to be free to advance any time now. Blank's Burgers, they do need to respect the fact they have faster spawners. Yellow Rat do cap it out.
Wisely backing up there.
They can't give Blank's Burgers too much space though, because Mashiro is still on the sniper. Monty, try not to get fully charged body shot the same way you did before. Mashiro getting brought down so weak, but does live. MG's there to defend him. JKC falls. Sobal's also to fall, and Mashiro getting a nice headshot onto Shy there. Shy's doing her best to evade this sightline. The SMG is forced to come out. Shy in no man's land has nothing to do except to fall over to the Australian with the fully automatic.
Somehow, Blank's Burgers were at a complete uber dis out there. Looked like they were going for the 4-man sack, but it was just Mashiro playing 6-pass Ubers. So
Ooh, Mashiro!
And they equalize the Ubers and get the cap point. So that really sucks for Yellow Rat.
Yep. Yellow Rat, they're going to do their best to aggress on this left-hand side here. They do know that the sniper is on China now, so they sort of want to trade that benefits them. Blank, fortunately, has a trap that's going to take out Monty, but Catfish is also going to fall. Both scouts on the side of Blank's Burgers and Yellow Rat are going to die here. They're going to see what they can do to pressure out Mashiro. The Uber does come out from Blank's Burgers. The trade, ultimately, just really isn't in either team's favor. It's almost like a formality to get rid of those Ubers there. As Zephyr is going to advance in the post-Uber. Mashiro is going to do his best. He's going to fall to 6 HP. Going to be forced to back out. But MG and Mashiro, they're just completely collapsing on top of them. Yellow Rat. Only JKC is the one to survive. He does bring down Blank, but it's just looking so good for Blank's Burgers here.
Yeah, this is tough. For a team that runs the sniper as their sort of dirty move, so to speak, they don't seem to have an answer for Mashiro's sniper for themselves. Looks like we're getting some point pressure here. We get the cap. Typical as a sniper means you've got one less soldier to help spam and stuff. Now let's see how Blank's Burgers use this sniper to slowly but surely pressure back the cap in turn.
Catfish trying to protect. Unfortunately does go down to Shy's damage. MG and Megumi also are both to fall.
That's more like it.
Yeah, that's a much more expected coordinated play into a team that's trying to aggress with a sniper.
Oh yeah, I just ate my words completely. Didn't look like they have an answer to it, and that's the answer. You aggress onto the sniper, you suffocate him, you don't let him take those shots off, and you don't let his team just chill there and deny the soldiers that pressure them completely. One sniper down, like I said before, is like one soldier down, which means way less spam, way less damage. You want to make the move on him first, like you can't let him have this game. And looks like Mashiro has learned his lesson, he's back on soldier now.
Yeah, a wise man once said, sightlines only exist if you let them exist. If you don't let them take that space, you don't have to worry about it as much. As Yellow Rat, they're going to try and do some early damage onto Blank's Burgers here. They managed to bring down Mashiro, Blank, and MG with JKC. He's going to see if he can get a well. He gets Zaya! That's going to be a med drop. Yellow Rat, they're looking in prime position here. With the point control, it's only 2 players up on the side of Blank's Burgers, waiting for more spawners, and still full Uber advantage for Yellow Rat.
Yeah, you know when you're a bottom highest soldier as a Merc in a grand final game for the first time gets a med drop? Yeah, you're probably going to clip that. That was a really good drop from him. Fantastic. Look at the full Uber here. 50 seconds. Here comes the sack attempt.
Ooh, Lilia!
But Lilia drops!
Also dropping!
And we paused.
It looks like the pause is coming out. Oh, I mean, what is there to say, Dante? It's like these teams, they get these fantastic plays off, but they don't quite anticipate what they're going to do in response. Like, Lilia should have been so far out there, or at least like bunkering down into house. It just wasn't good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
During this pause. During this pause, if you're feeling like you got $25 weighing you down a little bit, we do have a certain event happening in July. Land Down Under 2025. You want more Sixers action down in Fortress in Melbourne? Be sure to bring a spectator ticket. You won't be allowed in otherwise, and we're already 50% sold out. I believe most of our seating tickets are sold out already, so there might only be 20% of the. There might only be 20% spectator tickets left, so it's going to be packed. I mean, if you don't want to miss out on that action, certainly pick up a spectator ticket. You'll see me, a lot of the other CappingTV staff, as well as some of the players you're seeing here today. I know MG will be there. I know Mashiro will probably be there. Monty and Shy and Lily are always friendly faces down in Melbourne. So, yeah, if you love that TF2 action, if you love those Australian players, make sure you pick up a spectator ticket.
You can cross off having a mosh pit to a sick JKC airshot if you go to the Fortress event. And Fortress has other stuff too. Fortress is like a pretty cool venue if no one's been there. And I believe it's in a really good location too for this land, like smack dab in the city. So pretty accessible.
Yeah, it's awesome.
To and from. You'll have a great time. So the red team paused this game, right? That medic drop, like you said, was a very haphazard drop. That's not a drop that I would say is from a soldier playing crazily. That's a drop of just the soldier flinging it, and the Yellow Rat team just, like you said, went consolidating for that. So I imagine that pause is probably to chill, calm the nerves down. This is still a playable situation. The demo man is very low. They're down a soldier. They don't have Ubers yet. They have more combat classes than that. Oh, speaking of playable situation, we are playing it now, this situation. But
there is an unpause happening here.
Like a car crash in slow motion.
Yeah. Both teams are down a few players with Uber advantage for Blank's Burgers.
Zephyr going for something diabolical, hiding in this room. I'm sure it does go down. Zobal go down in turn.
Zephyr, he's waiting for something here. He's going to try and advance.
Spotted by the demo.
He
goes in on the medic.
He's going to bring down Zaya.
Zaya.
Zaya didn't quite have Uber there, but I don't think it would have mattered much. Just no reaction at all, basically. Shy.
This man wants his badge.
Shy needs to keep them from advancing here.
5 seconds left.
Shooting those sticks onto point needs to keep point control. However, the fact that they have so much cap time, Yellow Rat, they can't do too much to resist them. Mashiro, he's on the sniper with point control. This is exactly the situation they're looking for here. Mashiro is sitting on top of Rock, and despite Blank being shot so far back, yeah, Yellow Rat, they're going for desperate plays here. Mashiro getting a nice pick there. Ooh, narrowly missing that shot. He's going to look for another pick. JKC waiting for that pack to spawn, does get headshot. And yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty convincing for Blank's Burgers here. 4 players already down on the side of Yellow Rat. Only the scouts remaining. It's Zephyr, it's no one. Blank's Burgers bringing it to 2-2. Now, there's a glimmer of hope for Blank's Burgers here.
There is.
There's a glimmer of hope. If Blank's Burgers can take this round, they can bring maps to 2-2, which means we will be going to 5 maps.
And
my production, not very happy with the thought of us going to 5 maps. It might happen. It might happen. Mashiro, he's going deep behind, landing on top of that health pack. Monty is going to fall. Mashiro, he's on top of the combo. He tries to get rockets off. He brings down Lilia. Zobal blows himself up on the other side of that fight. Blank's Burgers, they do manage to successfully collapse onto the Yellow Rat combo. It's just Shy alive. And Zephyr, yeah, it's just forced to back up.
We have captured the control point.
Full Uber ad for Blank's Burgers with the player. Mashiro's back on his sniper. Oh, reliable. Doesn't like
Mashiro.
Standing still.
Something that brings down JKC.
Catfish.
They're going to bring out the Uber. They're not able to pick up much with the Uber. MG's even going to fall, but they do bring up Zobal in return. Zobal was on the sniper, being sent back to respawn.
Full Uber ad here for Yellow Rat. Let's be wary of this sniper. They do have a player ad here. Let's see if they also elect to play the player ad and pressure the sniper with it. Can't really tell if they're trying to do that or not convincingly.
control point is being
Looks like a little bit
contested.
of an SVS breaking out here. Good old-fashioned, some basically Highlander action. JKC bringing out Mashiro and looking into immediate aggression coming out from Blank's Burgers as if their sniper is their medic. It's just met with basically a sack wave there. Megumi stuck behind, doing really good damage to Sepha. Monty manages to bring her down.
Yeah, it's a bit more like it from Yellow Rat. Properly protecting the medic there, cleaning them up one by one, bunkering properly, not losing the Uber is really good to see. Zobel's still on the sniper. He does go down though, and Mashiro is elected not to play the sniper. It's been crazy trap guy there.
Catfish and Blake are both gonna go down. Unbelievable.
You know she's cackling in her seat at that for at least 10, 15 more seconds.
Probably saying something infractable, but you know what? It's fine.
Almost certainly.
They're going to see what they can do to stop Blank's Burger's advance here. As it is even Ubers. Probably going to bait the point a little bit here, only forcing out the Uber if they have to. But with that said, they have to be careful about Mashiro.
Shy's in.
Shy's going to bomb. They are going to force out the Uber charge. They only lose JKC in the process, and Yellow Rat, they might even have a chance to use this Uber to save players if they need to. It doesn't look like that ends up happening. I mean, what a great play.
That was pretty good from Yellow Rat. Like, Shy kind of went Joker mode. Like, I know when you get kills in TF2, you just want to get more kills, so she definitely went for that sack. I'm not sure if it was coordinated or not, but whether it was or wasn't is regardless. Yellow Rat played that situation really well, got the force out completely. Snipers are off the table now, and here comes a 4-man sack from Blank's Burgers. Blank is in, Blank is out, MG is in, MG is out, and Lilia goes down.
Very unfortunate. Blank's Burgers, they lose 3, but getting a drop in that is so fortunate. That's going to allow Blank's Burgers to advance with full advantage, and without the health of Yellow Rat backing them up, they have to give up this forward hold, basically. Sepha trades with Zaya, though. Zaya goes down. Both medics falling, and it's just getting a little bit chaotic here. Blue team, they are just forced to run into Yellow Rat, see what they can do. MG gets a nice direct onto Monty there, but ultimately it's not successful. JKC defending the combo yet again from Blank, and Yellow Rat look like they might be able to recap this with Uberat.
It's looking good for Yellow Rat, Tal. It looks like if Yellow Rat can just drag Blank's Burgers down to their frenetic, chaotic mudslinging level, it goes out pretty well for them. We do have Mashiro back on Sniper, their clutch factor. Let's see what he can do. He's going to be a bit of a 2018 performance on this Sniper rifle. But time is ticking, and Lilia does go down. Simple to win the name #1 in the game. This is now looking a bit dicey for Yellow Rat in this situation.
It's looking scrappy. They need to send their players in. They managed to bring down Zaya, though. They lose 4, but to find success in that situation is so just insane, honestly.
It was clutch. There's nothing else to say. That was real clutch from Yellow Rat.
They're able to take this fight with heal advantage as Zaya is still emerging from sport. They're dropping down from China here. Mashiro hits a fantastic shot onto Monty. Monty drops the NS in chat. Full respect going his way.
And aim nerd, that's how you know that was a good shot.
What a fantastic shot there.
Yeah, that shot just really opened up that entire sequence. But we're going to see even Ubers. Probably even plays, depends on how they play this. They are down MG as a soldier, and they still have the sniper here. Time is ticking though. I think whoever wins the next fight is probably going to win the game. And if it's Yellow Rat, the entire tournament. So let's just see how they do this.
They bring out the Uber.
Here comes Uber.
Looks like it's going to be a trade. Shy, well and truly caught here. Very unfortunate. It looks like it's going to be beneficial to the side of Blank's Burgers here, despite Sepha bringing down Catfish at the tail end of that Uber. He gets brought down as well. So Blank's Burgers still have a pretty easy way into this fight. JKC falls, Zobal narrowly misses that rocket. MG really securing this fight win. Keeping point control, Lilia and Monty forced to back off. Or at least back off to Cliff. MG jumps back, consolidates heals a little bit. Blank's Burgers, if they're able to continue to defend this, they could bring it to a 5th map. As this fight breaks out, breaking out dry.
Up the point. Two players going down
Zobile,
there
he's
for
on
Yellow Rat.
top of Mashiro, but he's
players.
not able to kill him.
Mission ends
Oh,
in
it's so close here. Just Monty and Lily are alive. They need to
Blank are
do
about to get
anything
rid of-
to stop them from capping.
And
Mashiro hits a
Monty
great
gets
headshot though.
We have secured
And that's
Wow.
going to be a 5th map. 3-2.
Wow.
Correctly predicted by both of us, going the way of Blank's Burgers.
Bro, this is my first cast ever. We're getting into a game 5 process. Yeah, that was a game of all time, Tal. Wow. Yeah, where to begin? Where to begin? I think you can begin. That's a good place where to begin. You can begin.
I mean, like, it seemed as though when Blank's Burgers had point control and they had Mashiro Sniper, it was all going in their favor, right? It's just so awkward for Yellow Rat to combat this sniper. I mean, somehow that's just the way that King of the Hill went. Like, it's almost as if Yellow Rat was unable to break this hold entirely. Mashiro just completely locking things down, going 36, 7, and 31. Dying almost the most on his team, but definitely locking down that point with more impact than a lot of his other teammates.
Oh yeah, Mashiro went absolutely crazy. He hit some fantastic bombs and fantastic shots. Yellow Rat, they look much better than they did on Bagel. That last round realistically could have gone anyone's way. You do see Monty went absolutely crazy on the flank scout there. He was not looking forward to having to play process for the millionth time as a pug player. I have to give MVP for that map to Mashiro on 2 classes because he just went absolutely ballistic on sniper and on soldier.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because all of these players put in so much work this game. Like, they must be feeling absolutely exhausted here. And we are going to a 5th map, Process. Now,
Process.
channel points are open if you haven't wasted all your points already. I know it's a zero-sum game. I know there's some points floating around still out there, so make sure you make your predictions in the Twitch chat. I mean, Process, 5th map. What do you think's gonna happen here, Dante?
Process. Bro, this is like the map where it all begins and all ends, I feel, for TF2 players. It's like the most basic pug map. Usually it's the first map that like everyone learns. It's pretty good for like all classes to a different degree. Every soldier learns his first, like, you know, the baby steps for soldiers in that fast rollout onto choke. Scouts love this map. Sniper's pretty good on this map, which we'll probably see. Man, I don't know. I kind of wasn't actually expecting a game 5 for this series. I thought it'd be like a quick roll in either direction, but I kind of said, oh yeah, let's see a game 5. It would be like awesome and good. But we're here, and it's Process. It can go either way. How I feel, kind of just watching as a spectator, knowing both these teams, is that when it gets this late into the session, into the gaming, so to speak, is that it gets a bit like silly. I don't feel like Yellow Rat is as tilted. I could be like completely wrong and just speaking out of my behind with this, but that game is really close on product. Both teams played pretty good, and both teams also had like glaring holes that the other teams exploited. But it did still feel like when things went wrong, teams were tripping over their own feet to a degree. But this map is comfort for like every TF2 player. Even if you love it or hate it, it's Process. It's the pug map. It's like I said, it's where it all begins and all ends. Monty's probably going to go crazy on this map as a really good pug scout, and Mashiro might go crazy on his sniper again. We'll see. We will see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so rough for Yellow Rat. Like, going into this series strong with their 2 pretty clean 5 CP wins, or moderately clean, and then having to like basically fend for themselves on these 2 Koth maps. It's just terrifying. I mean, like, they've put so much effort. Both of these teams have. They've put so much effort into this season, and to see it to come to a game 5, I mean, it's just all at stake now, and it comes down to, as you said, Process. Of all maps, it's the map where everything starts, and it's the map where everything ends. So many pugs have started and been killed on Process, And now the hopes and dreams of some of these players could be killed on this map. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. We've got some production difficulties, which means that at least on the observing side of things, it's going to be a touch difficult. I'm going to try not to read Twitch chat. Thank you very much, Hef. I will not be conceding to your demands. Yeah, I mean, looks like Yellow Rat, they're going to try and reset here. They do have all 12 in server now. Yeah, they just need to find a way to reset, Dante.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you did win like the 2-0 on the 5CP pretty convincingly. The caveat to that is like while you guys did get cooked a little bit in this like reverse sweep on Koth, it was 2 Koth maps. If this was clear cut, it does see a situation, but it's not. It's process, and like we both said before, it's process. No, it's italic, so however you say that. This can go either way, honestly. Yellow Rat could just utterly bowl them over in some dirty mudslinging pug style fashion, or we could see Blanks Burgers play this discipline, play this slow, not stoop to the mechanical level of messiness that Yellow Rat likes to cook up. It could go either way. I really don't know. I'm just gonna have to give it to Yellow Rat as a team that pugs a bit more, and the Merc, which is a wild card. They're a bit of a wild card team with like wild card, dark horse, Joker card players. 3-2 Yellow Rat.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this. I feel like Blanks Burgers maybe have gotten into the head of Yellow Rat here. I think Blanks Burgers have this. Even though Yellow Rat was looking so good in the early maps, I don't feel like they can recover from these King of the Hill losses. So
I don't blame you for thinking that. Yeah, the mentality going through Blanks Burgers is they are all beaming right now. They're doing really good. They're all playing their roles pretty well, I'd say. No one's really egregiously burgering. It wasn't like Bagel where it was just a massive medic difference. That game could have been anyone's game. Blanks Burgers played really well to just slowly but surely claw it back. I think if Yellow Rat hit hard, hit fast, early, they'll be okay. But yeah, like you said, I don't disagree with that sentiment that Blanks Burgers have a pretty good chance of coming into this game. And speaking of coming to this game, we are kicking off with process.
Yep, we're getting started. Let's see whether Yellow Rat can account for their previous 2 map losses and return to the form they were in early to the series, or whether Blanks Burgers can round out this streak that they've set up for themselves over the last 2 maps, this momentum, as we see both demos dropping down so weak at the start of this mid. Unfortunately, Zai missing an early arrow onto Blank. That's not gonna falter Blank's approach here. As blue team, they're gonna get so much space. Zai is gonna drop down to JKC. JKC landing from very high down onto Zaya there. That's gonna force Blanks Burgers to make some sort of salvage play. They do pick up Lilia, Zobal, and JKC with only MG alive on the side of Blanks Burgers. It's not all that for Yellow Rat.
What a slugfest is all I could say. What a slugfest. But yeah, like I said, both demos got low really, really quickly, which does throw a spanner in the works of both teams and how they play it. It got messy again. Fantastic bomb from JKC. You can tell he's in the zone right now on his favorite pug map. Knows all the jumps, knows all the little tips and tricks you can do. Great work from Blanks Burgers from killing that medic at the end, and then it just came down to a bit of a scrap. So now we've got even situations on the mid. There's a few things that you can do here. Because we have like some pretty strong flank players on Yellow Rat, they could potentially try and opt to buff the flank and see if they get like a pick with that. Easier said than done, of course, if the soldier properly holds it. If they get like an early pick from a soldier that tends to die, they can muscle through sewer and take it more slow. Or we just see the classic tried and true double bomb attempt, double sack attempt. Speaking of sack attempt, Mashiro is sneaking his way in through IT. Doesn't look like he's going to get anything from that though, so well played for the restraints. Let's see how Yellow Rat set up there. Sucks. I'd like to see pressure from every angle, make it as easy as possible for a soldier to get in. So I was thinking about it, waiting for 300. Yep, I can go in the morning, and here he goes. Zobel's in, fake bomb, and JPC is in, another fake bomb into IT.
Yeah, they're going to do a bit of damage here, but ultimately it's not very successful. Zaya's able to cut out that two-man sack pretty well. What I noticed there is Yellow Rat, they weren't really in a prime position to be able to support that sack there. Like maybe if they got a little bit of space around Al-Qaeda, it would have been better. Zaya drops though to Shy. Shy shooting pipes through choke. Zaya's just there to catch them.
That's very unfortunate to say the least. Like you said, they weren't necessarily supporting their soldier jumps, but they did get bombed into choke, which does make it hard. But Dua Lipa, one pipe is all it takes. Tal, Yellow Rat have full Uber ad now coming into the last point on the last map. It looks like a round for them, and this is a critical round to take for confidence levels, especially for a team that, as we can see externally, perhaps is emotionally as volatile as Yellow Rat.
Mashiro
Does go down early.
On door 5, they're going to use their Uber in.
Real early use here.
Quite a few traps on point, but not enough.
That is a scout moment. Just capture point.
I mean,
simple, equal.
Yeah, Blank had some traps there on point, but like just didn't have full coverage. So even though the traps weren't shot off of point, like they didn't really do much to stop Def from just capping that out as we go into our second round. Blank's Burgers, they're gonna opt for a right side mid as they did last round.
It's gonna be dangerous to
and
get out of this quickly.
They do need to be careful. JKC brings down Blank. That's a really good start to the mid for Yellow Rat. However, losing Dalton and Shy as well, it's just Lilia with 2 scouts. Doing her best to surf here, managed to get a great surf onto that pack. Lilia somehow still alive, being advanced on by the players.
And she does go down. She did kind of touch her ankle on something, it looked like, and she jumped as Catfish was going Thanos mode, Prime Server Admin mode. There, we do have Zobile on the sniper again. Pretty back and forth there. They got the demo man very early, but they bled players, I'd say, unnecessarily when they should. When you get the demo, you should just take height, muscle them out, force them to be the ones to make the move, but didn't work out the way that they'd want it to. Looks like we're getting an IT really fast over here from Catfish. He is feeling the heat. Yeah. Hopefully we don't see any bleeds onto second. That makes your last hole just astronomically more hard. Like, everyone's life is precious here. Traps.
Ooh. Probably aware of those traps.
Mashiro
gonna do so much damage. Zobile almost falling. Lilia hits a nice arrow to keep Zobile alive there. And the Uber's gonna come through. Blank. He's gonna shoot some sticks onto point, asking for the unflash. Yellow Rat, they're doing their best here. They do manage to successfully defend. It's only Zyra alive. He's trying to make it out through IT. That was far too close for comfort, Dante.
Yeah, I agree. Could have gone either way. I think using really early there was probably their grievance. They do get forward spawns, but the demo will be denied. And we have full ad from Yellow Rat here. I don't want them to be forced out here or to use it. I want them to use the Uber to get him to free and pressure a lot of damage because they're careful forward spawn here with the sniper. Zobel pressures him fantastically. And
they're like just rushing though. They don't check for MG.
Miss it and Lilia is dead. Wow, that's no good.
They just had no idea that MG was there, Dante. They're doing their best to make for a salvage play here, but I mean, so awkward. Like, there's definitely a thought that they are taking their time and definitely taking things slow, but they're not showing enough care. I mean, Lilia
time
just...
and place for speed, and that was not the time nor place, and it came at a cost of your medic, and they don't even have mid-cap, so this is pretty hard. This is honestly probably just going to be a last hold, like gun, heavy, sniper, pyro, a tourbillon if you want. They're coming into lobby quickly with this, with a full ad. Gun is a bit slow for my liking.
JKC potentially caught here, takes a lot of damage. Catfish, he's going to run through. JKC being brought down really low, he resups. And blue team, they're just allowed to walk in. The Uber does come out. They drop Catfish, and Megumi is also to fall.
Oh, 2-pipe Shakur from Blank here, killing Lilia.
2-pipe Shakur. Hilarious.
They do manage to hold
Zaya does
on
also
here.
go down though. JKC terrorizing in lobby. Does fall. But yeah, what a successful defense from Yellow Rat.
It looked really good until they dropped 2 scouts. I guess that's one way to completely beat your full Uber out into last. But it's a pretty explosive match so far. Haven't really seen a stalemate yet, I don't think.
Oh, indeed. It's been very back and forth here. Yellow Rat still up 1 round despite being on the back foot here. Pushed back onto second with even Ubers. Now, if you're Yellow Rat, if something were to happen and Lilia may not be as survivable as they look, they need to be in position to salvage this fight. It seems as though when they're protecting Lilia, they are not positioned well enough to go for an effective counter.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. It's really hard because it's something that needs to be done intuitively by your players. Zephyr's a great main caller, but the main caller shouldn't. Or hold that thought for a second. Here we go to Mashiro.
Ooh,
loves to bomb soldiers, this guy. MG is in and MG is evaporated. Mashiro is back in, and that's a really good hold from Yellow Rat. They managed to piece up both their soldier attempts, and I really like what we're seeing here. Quick through IT.
Yeah.
On the point.
Now, this is much better pace coming out from Yellow Rat. They're able to transfer that into a cap basically effortlessly because they were able to make that decision really quick to go through IT, Dante.
Yeah, that was really good. They get the point for free, effectively, and now they get the opportunity to make the first move. Let's see what they do. Aggressive peeking from Choke. Have to be careful about the high bomb here. Mashiro is a fiend for that, as we've just seen in the previous times they've tried to attempt to send
Oh,
out.
they're sending soldiers in. Zobal from Al-Qaeda. JKC
And
does
JKC
force out
gets
the Uber.
force. The hired gun, the mercenary, is proving his, I think, $2 an hour, and that's putting it generously. But he gets the force, which is fantastic.
They even
Blue
bring
team is trying
down
to come in and salvage
Mashiro,
this.
and they're going to force the fight anyway. Shy's
Try
going
to
to
get
fall, but
caught.
they lose MG. Blank, he's going to do his best to fend off these Yellow Rat players. He's going to do what he can. Monty, with that full beam though, he's not afraid to just run at them. Make
Well
sure
done
that
that
they
they used that.
get the message, and they just need to back off. Yellow Rat still have Uber advantage pushing into this second point here. Able to kite out Blank's players, and pushing through Al-Qaeda here. So Bal, looks like it is evening out, but if Yellow Rat can keep this space, it just becomes harder and harder for a trade to come out. Looks like it's even on last.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. Catfish loves his trade, but they're not letting him have a chance to set them up in the first place, which is good. Hopefully I really hope that they know it's even now, because they can send some fantastic sacks or muscle while MG was spawning. Looks like they're trying to do that, but Mashiro did a good job of cycling that.
Ooh,
JKC
sending both soldiers in.
On the medic.
Zobal,
So close.
so close. They lose 2. They pick up Megumi though. Pretty rough. Mashiro.
Yellow elect a trade here. Let's have a look. Monty just evaporates Mashiro.
He's already down. Monty
Comes to
also
trade.
aware
Bit
of
early,
where
I will
MG
say.
is.
Yeah, a bit overzealous.
Oh, Zephyr. Caught in here. Maybe he can go for a play onto Zaya. He's in on last. He's dancing around the wall here. He ends up getting brought down by Blank. But in that time, Yellow Rat, they're about as safe as they can be from this Uber.
Yeah, that was a bit of an overzealous trade.
Our control point.
Obviously, like, they weren't exposed or looked. It was a good idea because the demo was clumped there, but the problem is that it's so easy to back off and it's so easy to make that call as a medic. You kind of need a little bit of help to get the trade cooking in the first place, but it's just unfortunate. But Yellow Rat haven't bled. Hopefully, I don't have to eat my words. Too many players as a result of
Ooh,
that.
they're
but-
going to take so much damage in choke to spam. And basically off that spam alone, Blank's
Looks like
Burgers,
Blank's
they're
Burgers are
able
trying to send it, getting as much early space as they can. Yellow Rat should know this because it's that point. Mashiro is in, Mashiro is out. He is chilling. He's chilling.
Chilling indeed. I mean, it's so rough. Yellow Rat, it seems like every advantage they get, they almost instantly throw it away. And the same thing is happening to Blank's Burgers. Like, all of these stalemates just aren't working out for them at all. Blank's Burgers sending their players in here. Mashiro gonna be on top of Lilia, misses the rocket. Lilia doesn't end up using the Uber charge. Very brave.
Yeah,
They
she does
might
not
even
wanna
look
lose
to
this.
take this space for free. Looks like they are. Blank being dropped down real weak. He will fall. It's only Megumi and Zaya up with Mashiro and MG as spawners. Mashiro on the sniper. probably sitting door 2 in anticipation of the incoming sack from Yellow Rat. Aware that it's even, aware that they need to make a play here. JKC hitting a crazy rocket onto MG. What?
That MG paying off.
What a nuts rocket.
Mince meeting them in 2, forcing them back. We do have a player out here. Here comes the trade. This is looking a bit better. Getting the force off on the demo man. Catfish is up on the heavy here, and we just elect to even that out. Yeah, that was a crazy shot. I don't know if that was a 48 or whatever it was, but it was a minimum damage maybe. I mean, I'm not
yeah, it was basically minimum. I think it was 49, but yeah. I mean, he still walked away scot-free. Oh, Sobal, chill. Like, he's not even aware that there could be a trap there until he sees
the
object permanence. Mashiro, he's on scout. He's on spy, sorry. He's disguised as Red Scout.
He's
gonna see what he just decloaks right in front of Monty. Monty brings him down without breaking a sweat. And
much resistance there.
Yeah.
We do have a player out, but there's a gun in play. We gotta spot that gun. We gotta spam it together with less pressure. Looks like the spotting and spamming has commenced. Down.
He's in quite deep here. The Ubers do come out. Ultimately, this is beneficial for Yellow Rat as Catfish is dead still for a while here.
Gets dicey.
Oh, Megumi manages to bring down Zobal. JKC is also to fall, but Megumi and Mashiro both dying. Lilia dies, and it's just Blank and Zaya alive on the side of Blank's Burgers. It's really up to Zaya here. Blank manages to defend the point with the assistance of Catfish as a spawner. That got quite far. Quite close.
That was a slugfest. Yeah. That was, good comes either way. 2 soldiers in now from Yellow Rat, seeing what they can get. You know, nice that they blocked the cap attempt there. JKC doing a bit of bad lanes mid there. He is out.
MG being shot in the air. He's so weak here. Blank's Burgers need to be aware that they don't have heals. They can't really keep this ground, and if they were to lose any more players there, that could have been catastrophic.
Really,
I mean, that was almost an opportunity there for Yellow Rat to just take a dry fight into last, Dante.
Yeah, absolutely. Losing the demo is really, really bad for obvious reasons. Even Ish Ubers, I don't think that this is like a playable dot ad, nor would they know about that. That's a really hard margin to make. They do know that. They could probably use that to get some nice sacks on, but again, we've got to deal with this gun first. It's a bit of a pain. And we do have 1 minute, 40 seconds left for the round. We will see what happens. I expect a bit of a poke from both teams. They can hear the gun obviously from lobby, so we're going to try and spot it and then deal with it together. Be careful of stuff like this happening where soldiers are very aggressive to either jump on the spam attempt that could happen, or just play like really far forward to begin with. But MG's a good soldier. He knows how to toe the line, so to speak.
I mean, Blank's Burgers just have this completely locked down here. MG brings down Monty and Zobile in door 2. JKC is also to fall. Yellow Rat with only 3 players up now. Catfish is going to swap back onto Scout and Megumi as well, and they're going to see whether they can take any space on the back of these 3 picks.
Probably not.
But that said, Monty and Zobile, they've already spawned and they're already on their way. If Blank's Burgers are able to cap out this point, they need to do so somewhat safely as the Uber trade is going to come out. Megumi's going to fall during that trade. So already things are looking up for Yellow Rat with some nice flashes. Lilia brings some soldiers into the fight. They say hello to Blank. Blank falls and, I mean, Yellow Rat, they win that fight pretty convincingly. They might even be able to dry fight this into last, but MG sitting in door 2 brings down Sepha and Shy.
MG completely cooks him in 2. They need to play this quickly and they need to play this now. They need to focus up on the heavy.
They're fighting it. They're being scrappy here. They're trying to sit on top of point. It's Catfish and Blank against the world. Catfish, he brings down 3 to defend it. Oh my god. If they do this too many more times, I might need to fill up my water bottle again.
Oh, that was nuts. What a slugfest for the second. I think MG went crazy there, like just denying those players that momentum and also outright killing them was huge.
Right.
So much else happened. I don't really remember anything else, to be honest.
I don't remember anything anymore. Snap out of it, production.
Hell yeah.
Eyes on the prize. We're going into the next round here after that stalemate.
I don't know if I'm convinced about these right mids from Blank's Burgers. You can really easily get stuck there and eat a lot of defecation and fecal matter, which you probably don't want. Let's see if they keep doing it again. Doesn't look like it. They're playing center. I see some early damage of the demo man here as his team starts to mobilize. He looks forward. He comes in red
Cepha is being dropped down so weak. Monty and Cepha bring down Mashiro. JKC is the full.
21 HP. But it's a slugfest.
It's just a slugfest. Keep talking over each other in these mid fights. I'm sorry.
So much adrenaline going on. Monty, bit of MMOD going on.
He's almost winning that.
Clutch your kid.
A little bit scary. Yeah, Blanksberger's gonna win this mid fight pretty convincingly.
Yeah, he just got nasty real quick. Not much to really say about that. I did like that they played center position on Blanksbergers. You get choices on where the enemy team moves, and you can obviously like spot them and call them, but going that right side, you got to get out of there quickly. If you get out of there quickly, it's not too bad, but I don't pick these teams to like quick rotate inside the teams. Like, they like to meet each other head on, and see who's got the bigger brawn. Now we're seeing like a full Uber hold disad on last from Yellow Rat, which is really good to see. No one's just trying to do any stupid second
MG's
sacks
already
before.
peaking 5.
Yeah, great information from him there.
They're going to try and push through 1 here. They bring down Zobal and the sentry gun of Cepha. And that's going to allow them to just get on top of the cap. Already a lot of cap time, and that's a round going the way of Blanksbergers. It's all nerves here. All nerves. 1-1.
Absolutely. I got real close there. Yellow Rat was really close to the Uber. Obviously, like, the point got a lot of early cap time, which is integral. The point is kind of like a 7th man, or like his own form of ad there. So it's like something they have to respond with. Showed a little bit of a beef on the rollout.
Yeah. Shy
But she avoids a sticky.
showing up to mid with not much health. Probably going to have to wait for an arrow before Yellow Rat can advance here. Meanwhile, Blanksbergers with some pretty healthy buffs. They're already in onto Shy and Lilia, taking them both out. Mashiro going high. Counter-bombing soldiers. Zai, unfortunately, is going to fall, but I would say in either case, that's still Blanksberg's mid to win.
That was definitely Blanksberg's mid to win. JKC did clutch up there on the medic, but that probably shouldn't have happened, so that was fortunate.
They bring down Zobal. See if they can bring down another. Mashiro missing that 3-degree of inaccuracy rocket onto Monty there.
Yeah, that's it was all skill. He should have hit that back to general maps too. He's very comfortable with this Beggar's Bazooka. It looks like he like knows all the tricks. I don't even know what the weapon does. I only started playing Kick for like 3 months ago, but he does seem very comfortable with it. He probably knows all the jumps that you can do on this map, all the little trinkets and things you can do, and it's not something you get to practice against in scrims. When you see like something new, like banners, this stupid heavy players, Beggar's Bazooka, now's the time to use them in officials, these dirty moves, so to speak. But it's even Ubers. Yellow Rat is gonna chill for a bit, wait for the sack attempt. They have a gun, all that good stuff. And let's see how Mashiro picks up something diabolical.
I mean, Mashiro, he's known to do pretty diabolical things. I'm sure this will be no exception as he's trying to get in through door 5. Just spamming some long-range Beggar's Bazooka rockets, hoping to bring down that gun, but I tell you what, door 2 is a completely different story. Zobal's already there waiting for Mashiro. He does fall to blank though. Oh, Shy! So close there! Shy brings down MG, but craters! That's really not good news for Yellow Rat here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate they got the trade there. I don't think Shy should have lived in the first place. That was really far forward in lobby, especially when he just lost a player too.
Yeah, so sketchy. Like, I can understand the thought to want to keep them from sending more players in, but putting your own life at stake, at what point do you need to start respecting the enemy team, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Mashiro's and Sniper again. They haven't spotted him yet, unless they got killed.
We know, of course, that if they aren't able to capture this out in the next few minutes or so, we will be going to Banny overtime. So we do require these teams to go for a play here. Zobal brings down Mashiro. Clearly not past his bedtime, but it might be past Shy's bedtime. Throwing her life away yet again as the Uber comes out from Blanksbergers.
Hard situation from Yellow Rat, losing the demo, but it looks like Blanksbergers will indeed just elect to leave.
Ooh, Blank, he's getting almost caught here. He needs to be really... Oh, unfortunately, he does fall to Zopal and JKC. He was so caught there.
That is really nice for Yellow Rat. We didn't have to like have any doubt about not using Uber or using Uber to get that second point. How will they get the midpoint?
Ooh, Zopal!
Pretty textbook. 2 soldiers. Peace up, MG.
And Lilia drops. Lilia, no! They take it. Like, they feel as though because they know where MG is, like Mashiro can't possibly make a play by himself, but he proves time and time again that he's very capable.
And
oh, Zaya drops as well, though. Zobal gets a... They trade medics, and it's just like a no heals on the side of Blank's Burgers. They're somehow holding it, though. Yellow Rat gonna try and reconcile heals a little bit before trying to re-enter. They're quite slow, though.
I'd say it's like a paramedic main. 40. And like, what am I saying? Lily just dies, I guess.
Lily is just dead. It's fine. I mean, like, I can see where you're going. It would be helpful to be able to analyze these plays as they're happening, but it just looks like these teams are a little bit out of focus potentially. Zai's going to go down as well. It's just Catfish.
Okay.
It's just Monty and JKC. So,
do you think these guys are sweating their brains out, or are they just also as lost and confused as... Because like, we're way past scrims now, so everyone's tuning in for like this episode of Family Guy.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're expecting like the turn away of like when Peter was a soldier in TF2, you know?
Yeah,
like
basically,
when he made
like
pocket.
that time I sucked onto like last or something. Thinking of attacks
MG
onto
bringing down JKC.
Last.
Now,
Yeah.
Yellow Rat, they do have advantage here. If they can somehow protect their medic, they need to do something. Like, Zobal's already dead, and they can't give up too much space, but Lilia has taken so much damage, gonna get brought down by Mashiro, and now it's Blank Burger's ad.
Dude, you can't be having this. I don't know what else to say. Like, this can't be happening.
It's just chaos.
Zephyr's
like,
in.
there's Sephiroth on top of Zaya. Zaya's dead as well.
This, dude? What is this?
What is going on? It's just MG alive now. Zaya just wanted to walk in. I mean, with 30... I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. This is just like...
Yeah.
Bro. The brains have officially gone to mush. We have slight Uber advantage on Yellow Rat, but I don't
at this point, does that even like matter, dude? Like,
I don't think it matters at all. If anything, that means that Yellow Rat is more likely to lose this next push. We'll see what happens. Only a few more seconds on the clock here before it will go into Banial over time. And I'm just exhausted, Dante. Both soldiers, both playmakers on either team go down. Mashiro and Zobal both to fall.
And like Yellow Rat are getting the Uber though. Are they going to send it risky for the biscuit? We used through one. We are closer to this now. Shy locks them out from left spawn, rotates perfectly to the right spawn, locks out these two scouts. Point is open, but Zephyr does go down and gets dropped. Monty is in. They have their Uber.
Oh, they're basically wiping. It's just Zobal and JKC, but Zaya, he's not safe. As long as there are Yellow Rat players alive. As long as there are Yellow Rat players alive, Zaya is not safe at all. Ooh. The illusion of Zobal against the wall. Plato's allegory of the cave. They just see the shadow of a rocket launcher. That's enough to strike fear in their hearts.
This entire game is just actually the hero's journey. Like, this should be in Joseph Campbell's book. Massive disad. Well, not massive disad, but sizable disad for Yellow Rat. Depends how well Zaya is counting it. I don't think anyone's counting anything this game, but I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt because it is a game 5 high grand final. Looks like Blanksburgers is going to get that Uber. Yellow Rat haven't been doing a good job of grinding it. Depending on the body language of Yellow Rat too, Blanksburgers could possibly be able to just get in for free, or even worst case scenario, and a likely scenario is outright catch them. Looks like this coming in for free.
Ooh, MG missing some crucial rockets there. Zobal will fall though. Ooh, Mashiro manages to bring down JKC. The Uber is going to come out from Blanksburgers. Yellow Rat, they're not really catchable though. They're already out. I mean, Catfish, he's going to go for something here.
Yellow Rat don't have the players for this though. They have the Uber, but they can't get forced by this.
Ooh, Sepha. They do bring
Yeah,
out the
force.
Uber. They're going to see if they can bring down Mashiro and MG and make their way onto mid. But Blank's Burgers, they've backed up so far here, they're only able to bring down Magoo.
They should be able to get these players if they stack properly. Yes. Yes, they do. The push is on. Let's get into second quickly. We're in second quickly.
Almost 10 past 11, Dante.
I got a fly tomorrow, bro.
They bring
We
down
actually are,
MG,
yeah.
and they are trying to keep things together.
Blank's
Try to
really
stop
good,
Blank's
though.
Burgers from re-advancing, but it looks like they're in through door one. Zobal is the first to fall. And it doesn't look like they're able to pick up much more. Maybe this soldier, if they're lucky, Catfish is absolutely sprinting at JKC, but doesn't ultimately isn't able to pick up more than Shy, who for some reason is overextended, and JKC just runs into a scout on the other side of the map. So it's
It happens a lot
it's good
in
for
this
Blank's
game.
Burgers.
It's good for Blank's Burgers. Really good that they'll deny this demo here. They can play this. They do have Uber Decide, but the lack of the demo and the soldier, they should be able to get an easy force on this.
Ooh, it's getting
Mashiro.
spooky. Mashiro trades out for Zobal.
Lost rep, great trade. Megami goes down though. We do have the Uber still for Yellow Rat. Do they elect to use it? There is a... I thought there was a spy, but I'm actually hallucinating things on that tires, but could have happened.
Shadows on the wall. Shadows on the
on the
wall.
wall.
MG's
They're
in,
forces
doing
on the
some
wall.
nice damage, bringing Shy down quite
And
weak.
he's finally the Catfish batted the
The
trade.
trade? I mean, it's not really looking good for Blank's Burgers here. They really need to be sort of wary of the fact that Yellow Rat have the player advantage.
Yeah.
An interesting play, but they're just stuffing them in choke. Blank's first to go down. And Zaya's also going to fall. Zobal sails in over the top. And Yellow Rat, they recognize the way this little encounter has changed, and they need to start protecting Lilia. MG falls, and it's just 2 alive on the side of Blank's Burgers. They're trying to make it out through IT, hopefully back onto last as Yellow Rat. They are free, finally, to push into second.
I mean,
With
I wanna
Uber
say this looks like a
advantage.
round, but yeah.
I wouldn't be too confident, Dante. I would not be
wouldn't
too confident.
either. Okay, here we
They-
go though. Grinding Diva.
Trying to grind out the rest of this Uber. It is 1-1 in this best of 5 5th map. And if they succeed in this last push, it is all over. So they really need to properly defend this. Shy gonna do her best. They
Lot of
get some
point pressure.
really good cap time.
Zobal's in.
Zobali's on the point. The cap time is so close. It's just
Oh.
Monty on 33 HP, Catfish on 4. Oh, so close. Look at that cap time.
Good
Blank's
attempt.
Burgers were just a quarter of a second away from losing their chances of scoring a first place in this high division of ozfortress
I can
Autumn.
guarantee you someone is screaming, bro, the heavy was 4, someone shoot him. Because that heavy was 4 and someone needed to shoot him to go down. Looks like we're taking a bit of a drive by
Zobal
still in play from
does
Blue.
pretty good damage. JKC is first to go down, but Catfish shortly goes down
Zobal.
afterwards. Zobal, he does great damage onto Blank. Blank is to fall. And Yellow Rat, they have the player advantage here despite being at full Uber disadvantage.
Yeah, Yellow Rat have options to make here. Like, no demo, you can flood the flank. Sack should be trivial once they get their player back. But not the nicest situation to be in for Blank's Burgers. You don't want to get forced here. You want to use this Uber to take stuff for free or catch the medic. Looks like MG is playing, is clearing some space, just seeing what's happening. But I don't know if Blank's Burgers are going to elect to use this Uber as she's now dwindling away, but still usable nonetheless. But it doesn't look
Yeah.
like it. Doesn't look
Looks like it's just going to even out. They're not confident enough to take this Uber advantage in. Maybe they've miscounted Ubers, but in any sense, things are evening out. It's Yellow Rat. They need to think of a way of breaking this stalemate here. Maybe it's
like
sending
sewer
players
is
through
the
Al
way to
Qaeda. Maybe it is. Make some space. Maybe support their soldiers as they go in.
Oh my
Zobal, he gets
goodness,
brought down
Zobal goes
so
to
low.
Jupiter.
Hit the arrow. Oh, just misses.
It dies!
Zaya's dead though, so I mean Blank's Burgers, they are They need to break this bunker. They bring down Monty and Shy, and
they get the
Zephyr
force.
is the one to use the Uber. They bring down Blank, and it's...
And here we go, ulti, trio, whatever. Zephyr is in, takes the high ground, but they do get this cap though, that's huge. And Mashira is in on the medic.
Clear! Drops
Zephyr has
down
to clutch up
so
here.
weak. They actually do bring her
goes
down. And with forward spawns for Blank's Burgers, this mid fight is going to be not contested, actually. It's going to be fine. Yellow Rat, they're going to cap it out. Blank's Burgers. Zephyr?
How does
Zephyr?
Blinky miss it and Zephyr
He's
is
looking
here?
for it. He's behind them in door one
information for
somehow.
this,
The control point is being contested.
He's in.
He's in.
He's sneaking up. He beef.
3,
Oh,
4,
he
and
brings
he
down
touches it.
Zaya. Oh, it was so close to not
That was
working out
extremely
there.
Close.
Oh my gosh.
Yellow Rat, please. You know what they're gonna do next, bro. They're gonna go for your medic.
Yellow Rat, they're gonna run at you, bro.
Lock
JKC
them out.
gets brought down so
Play
weak.
together. Don't hit your baits. Just play together. Lock out tropes. Know what they're gonna do here. This round is yours.
Oh, Shy hits a great pipe onto MG.
Shy
Okay,
was good.
surely, surely Red win this with 68. Unaware. That's a great
beating
chat
you.
message.
We have lost the control point.
Yellow Rat, surely they can round this out. Blank's Burgers, they do have a few off classes. Mashiro, he brings down
Zobile does go
Zobile.
down.
The sentry gun does go down, but it's already
the use.
Blank's Burgers to lose. Magooby and Catfish both go down. This could be it. MG and
Watch out.
Mashiro, they need to pull something together here. Yellow Rat is on the back foot. Zephyr brings down Mashiro, and now they're
Sends it into
reaggressing.
the
Yellow
team.
Rat, they're trying to push through. Zobile is quick behind them, and the Det brings down 3, and JKC trades. Just insane sticky trap. Brings down 3, and they're gonna defend again, Dante. They defend it again. They defend it again.
This is like my first official that went to 85 minutes. Actually, I'm not gonna say anything more. I don't want to jinx it any more than it has been.
We have captured the control point.
Full ad for Blank's Burgers here. Will Blank's Burgers beef it like Yellow Rat has, or will they get 2 points for free? Hopefully, here they come through choke, checking for space, checking for traps, and Blank is
Brings down Blake. It's one of you push. Mashiro's dead to a trap. Someone succeed. MG's down. Surely, Yellow Rat, this has to be it.
Bro, I was supposed to murk this game too. We got denied. JKC is in. Great space on second here. No Ubers for Yellow Rat, but Blank's Burgers
They're
are
gonna see if they can force out the Uber.
Uber.
Zephyr's in on them. They're beefing it, and they need to back up. Lilia, on her way back to pipe. Zobal looking through
Zobal's
door
let him
2,
up.
see if he can get a pick. Ultimately, not successful.
Holding the
Gonna
angle
see
here.
door 1 instead.
Well played from
Gets a
MG.
body
Pressuring
shot onto
that.
a scout.
Shoots it.
Control point is being captured.
And he's dead to MG. And
That's
they
a
need to
textbook.
back up, and it's... Would you believe it? It's even Ubers again. Blank's Burgers don't seem to care, though. They're just pushing it through IT. They're going to face the absolute meat grinder. Mashiro's going to get dropped down so low.
First
The
Uber.
trade is going to come out. It's not looking good for Blank's Burgers, though, as they are down 2. With Monty brought into this Uber on the back of Zephyr falling. MG, little bit of a brawl there, bringing down JKC. And now it's 4-4. Both teams have an equal chance at making it out of this fight alive. But Blank's Burgers, they're on the back
And
foot.
MG's backshot's revenge comes out from IT. He has finished his cybersecurity degree and
Oh.
beefed up Shy.
Call MG the Count of Monte Cristo, the way he's taking absolute vengeance on... Okay, we need we need to put a limit on the literary references when we're casting, I think, Dante, otherwise it gets a little bit out of
It's okay.
hand.
I just stand in English anyway. Demoman, this should be an easy second push. Catfish goes down pretty quickly though. Mashiro rolling in IT, leaving now. Even plays now, we're chilling. Even Ubers-ish, I suppose. I don't think they're counting it. I'm not counting it.
I'm not counting it either. May as well, like, both medics may as well be dead at this point, because, like, I'm just not anticipating
We
anyone
haven't
being
seen a
able
single
to...
crits in this series as well, which I kind of think is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they're so like stalemate brained at this point that it probably doesn't even occur to them that there are other Betty guns. We'll see if Blank's Burgers decide to make some space here to sack, or whether they'll just like chill out. I mean, their health is really good. Mashiro beefs the jump. I see the vision. He needs a full buff again though before he goes to something similar. Zobal gets dropped down quite low on the other side of this fight, taking too much spam for comfort. MG also to drop down quite low. Blank's Burgers basically refusing to buff up their plays suitably, instead opting to play around Catfish, who is on the sniper. Needs to make a play here.
Yeah. I really like just... Oh, JKC.
Oh, JKC. Catfish falls though. Shy's in choke. Manages to do a lot of damage to MG, potentially forcing him back a little bit there.
Even.
And it's even yet again. Catfish dead, JKC dead. Blank hitting a nice pipe onto Shy, but all that does is reinforce this stalemate. You don't go anywhere, we don't go anywhere. You want to go all night? We can go all night.
I don't know. I think we're going to find out painfully.
Okay. Now Blank's Burgers, they need to find an opportunity here. They need to just take heals somewhere. But no, they're on Catfish. They're not even backing up Catfish in sewer. They're just leaving him there.
Dude, who's
He's got...
Oh. I can hear like Persian trap beats in the background. Oh, the soldier is in. He beats it completely into the burger. Yeah, Catfish goes down. Zobal escapes with the skin of his teeth. There's a little bit of return fire from Blank's Burgers here, but otherwise business as usual. Soldier chilling in sewer, rat himself. He is trapped out here with Shadow. This could be it for him, and Zobal does go down. We do have a potential player ad that could be used, but what am I saying, bro? This is in the same stuff. What the life Shy
some good damage.
Minces the burgers in choke. Nearly goes down to herself as well on 26 HP.
Minces those burgers. I can assure you this is not halal, what just happened in that choke.
Yeah, this is
60 seconds until it's going to stalemate out. It looks like both teams are pretty keen for that to happen.
Opting for it, yeah.
I mean, Blank, he's shooting through choke, but like, oh, Mashiro, he's going to go for a play. He's launching himself in. He lands on top of the demo, but it's not fruitful. They pick up Shy, but they lose 3 in the process. This might actually open things up for Yellow Rat to capture mid. Blank's Burgers is on the back foot.
Too, for getting in like really quickly.
Blank.
To take that trade. Blank does go down. That is tragedy.
Blank was so weak for so long there. He's just not able to find any heals, and he does fall.
Deny and,
JKC, he's in. Zobal brawling with the 2 soldiers on the right. It's pretty rough here for Blank's Burgers. Without Blank, they don't have a way of maintaining this space. They do take down Monty though, so it's not all bad for Blank's Burgers. If anything, that's forcing Yellow Rat to back off, collect themselves, and resist the sack coming in from MG, hitting 2 great rockets onto Shy, but Mashiro and MG don't have much health between them right now. Mashiro goes down and MG was forced to back off, get some heals from his medic, and now he's back in. They take a lot of damage walking through choke, and it looks like Blank's Burgers aren't able to take this as aggressively as they wanted to.
There was a great force from the fact that these players, we get the resulting force from...
There is a back cap happening right now. Blue team, they're forced to go back.
He doesn't have the health for this. He has to be careful.
They have to deal with Cepho, who's behind them. JKC lands on top of Megumi and Blank. Both of them are to fall, but Cepho goes down. Okay. We're seeing them innovate here. This is what innovation looks like. They work out that maybe we just need to go for a back cap. And it's happening. Now, it's still going. This game is still going. MG's not able to find anything. Lilia gets brought down so weak, but they're just about to get Uber, and Blank's Burgers, they have to retreat yet again. They need to retreat yet again. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens.
I've been telling people this for years. I don't believe you though. It's an hour. That is like, you're a cup.
Oh, Zobal gets Zaya and Mashiro though.
Zaya down this.
Is this an opportunity? They're only up 3. They need to resist the advance of Blank's Burgers here. They can't allow... Oh, the Uber does come out. It's not the best Uber. They need to
Shy's
do
still
something here.
needs to
Shy
go
can't
up.
really get caught by this, but blue players are all around them here. They don't have time to wait for players. Lily's going to hit a great surf, but right into the meat shot of Catfish. And Shy's also going to go down. Now, Yellow Rat, they only have 3 players up here, and Blank's Burgers have player advantage. So, in theory, they can keep a hold of this point, in theory, if they get their heals to them. It looks like they do.
This Pregame
Okay.
last hold, 30 disad, like sizable, and the demo just spawned. Depends how fast we get into second here, but because the demo's just rolling out, yeah, it doesn't look like it's happening. MG goes for some crazy stuff, but he's chilling. I'm sure laying down a little bit of spam, but yeah, last hold, which is like just awesome. Like I'm telling you, this is like a game of all time. We're gonna get NG, we're gonna get heavy, we're gonna get like 12v1 Widowmaker, Jet from Valorant might even make an appearance if they're always so inclined. But yeah, they're playing it so safe here.
Why stop
I'm about
there?
to eat my words because Blank Burgers is coming in, playing
They're
this
just-
Zubrad well
They're
read.
getting in. They're trying to sit on top of point. Yellow Rat, they need to do something to defend it here. They're already down JKC. It's an all-out brawl on this last point. The Uber does come out, and it's just Catfish and Zaya. Tails between their legs. They need to run. Oh, but Sepha, he's on top of them. Zaya's brought down to 9 HP. Zaya dies. It's Catfish dead as well, and Sepha is the only one to fall in that defense. They actually chased them down and successfully converted it into a team wipe.
They've also denied the medic here, so they'll be able to fight this with heal out when the medic gets here. One
Nothing
thing is,
ever
I think they
happens.
were Ubering the scout when he was trying to cap the point, which is, yeah, that's not how it works. Blank just dies, MG
Zobal brings down Blank and Mashiro.
Shy
and Zobal are both to fall though. 3 dead on the side of Blank's Burgers, and they're just charioting their way back to second. Yellow Rat, they've got mid here, and they do have Uber advantage. They've got time to wait for players, but they still need to keep up the pressure. They can't allow Blank's Burgers to set up here for free. They need to actually dictate the pace of the game and not wait for them for Blank's Burgers to make a mistake. They need to do something. Free me.
If it's going to even out anyway, I want to see them just take the space and just get the sack set up early. Cameras on JKC. They do have the space. Let's see what they do with it. Traps everywhere.
It's looking pretty scary here. They do get the force. This is so good for Yellow Rat. They don't look like they're at risk of losing any players. The Uber comes out, but that said, they do lose Zobile, and they don't get basically anything for that Uber. JKC is also 1 to 4. I mean, somehow with that insane trade, Monty is the only one to survive. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm looking at, Dante.
The control point is being captured.
They had every advantage there. How did they throw that away? Zobal's even feeding on cooldown at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Here comes the block attempt from JKC, unsuccessful. But the backup does work, so I guess it was successful. Don't tell me this game ends with backup. No,
Success is an illusion. It's an illusion. Because they're already capping second. They don't even have to worry. They've got Uber ad and player ad, and they're just going to fight over mid again, Dante. They're just going to fight over mid again.
Oh, bro. Nothing ever happens.
Oh, why doesn't anything ever happen? Mashiro does damage, but it's fruitless.
Some nice spam from MG there. And they die to the Shy
that's
Joker
awesome.
mode. Arkham Asylum trap. Are you joking, bro?
She is joking. She's the Joker. The giggle grenades just got launched, and there's nothing. There's no comment to be made. There's no comment to be made. There was a trap they didn't see, and it's just gonna keep going. It's just going to keep going. Yellow Rat. Now they're capping. They're capping out mid, and it's Banial configuration. So yes. So it's still going. You know, we're like over an hour into process. It's the 5th map of 5
But
maps.
it's all good. It's all good, Tile. We have full Uber out here. This is a great situation here.
I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. It's not ending. It's not
They're
ending.
gonna cook. They're gonna cook. Okay, smell the recipe. Here comes
They're
Shy.
cooking.
Coming in
They're
for three.
cooking.
On to heaven. MG's going for a fight
Oh,
behind.
Zobal's dead
drops.
though. They managed to bring down the sentry
Shooting the
gun.
trap
They
from the point.
need to be
Step
careful
cook here.
here. They bring down MG, but they're down 3 on the side of Yellow Rat. they only bring down one, and it looks like a successful defense. Lilia needs to leave, and nothing ever
Ooh,
happens.
successful.
Nothing ever happens.
No, nothing ever.
Nothing ever
Back to it.
happens.
Nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever happens. Ah.
But couldn't you think at least one time maybe one Uber had a comment and just, yeah, whatever. Let's go. That's awesome. I'm gonna.
Doc, come on, man.
I'm almost about to tap out of this one. I gotta say, Dante,
Come on, man.
hurts the old vocal track. They do have Uberad though, so something
They
might
do.
happen. Something might happen, Dante.
They do have Uber ad. That's pretty good. And we're back to where we started, I guess, which is also awesome and fantastic. Yeah, we do have the gun up.
Oh, would
With
you
the
look at
sniper,
that? You know, there's
we got
spectator
pieces
tickets
to
right
make.
before we see this Uber push.
You guys might
thanks,
be able to see this live if it happens. Our
Oh,
gun
it's
is
happening!
down.
It's happening! They're capping
It's
it!
done. It's bro. It's
Yes!
done. It's done.
Oh,
It's done.
we get to
It's
leave!
done. It's done.
It
It's
finally
done.
ended!
It's done.
It finally
Oh my God.
ended! It ended. Oh, Smoko has started. For those of you, ladies and gents,
Oh my god.
that need a break at home, it happened. Yellow Rat, they are your victors in this high grand final. And all it took was, I think, the 7th Uber ad push into last for something to happen. I just don't even know what to say, Dante.
What do they say? Tile, if it doesn't work at first, try again. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I warned you, if Yellow Rat bring Blank's Burgers down to their, like, you know, mudslinging level, it's gonna get nasty. And I feel like Yellow Rat are all players that would pug TF2 till, like, the birds start singing in the morning. And I feel like Blank's Burgers are all players who have work tomorrow. So, yeah. Sometimes they really just do feel like that. And these logs are completely fried. I don't know where to begin with them. I'm not even going to comment on them. Their logs are all fine.
Look
That's all I'm
at
gonna
the
say.
amount of kills in this game. Oh my god. Like, what? I mean, there's not really much to unpack from these logs because there weren't any individual plays that we can sort of talk about here.
Let's talk about me. Let's start talking about me.
Why do we have people in this chat? Get out of here. Get out
Shout
of
out
here.
Dante. Shout
I
out
want to
Dante.
leave.
Dude, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Why did you put me through that?
Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I didn't even think we were gonna win. That's fucking.
You don't know how
Insane.
you know the call.
Dude, we were
Everyone
trying
was
to push
defending.
last for 9 years.
No, I
I'm
okay,
so
let's-
fucking
let's-
tilted, man.
Let's restore this to a little bit of order right now, alright? We will ask the questions here. You will answer. We won't
sir.
take 15 minutes just
Yes,
to
sir.
interview. Thank you.
So,
Now,
yes,
JKC, you murked for this. So, is this what you expected?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fantastic. Next question. We've got Zobile in. Oh, actually, wait. Sorry. Zobile.
Hello.
How do you feel after literally being put against the wall for so much of this game? I felt like you were like so targeted by the enemy team and yet putting out so much damage throughout the course of those 5 mats. How do you feel?
That was just dreadful. I felt like I was making water out of wine. Like I just couldn't get away with anything. If I bombed, I have like 5 scouts running at me. It's just unreal. But it's okay. My team wins, so they're the goats.
Wonderful. Dante, do you have any questions for MG? MG is also here.
MG, you played very fantastically. My main
Thanks.
question was, what was the comms like in the two things actually, 2 in 1. The comms for Bagel, were you guys actively adapting to stuff they were doing on Bagel, or was it just like a mental momentum thing? The second question, what was the comms like in the last game?
I don't think we were adapting to anything in particular. We're kind of just doing the tried and true strats that we'd come up with throughout the season, and it seemed to be working. Last game, the comms were like good, but they were tense because obviously it was like a very tense game. But yeah, no, we kept it clean.
Effortlessly nonchalant as always, MG. Yeah, we just played how we always play, and you know, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact it was a 3.5 hour match. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I believe all of you deserve a lovely break between seasons. Maybe this is an opportunity for you guys to warm up your ulti duo skills, break the dust off the old ulti duo maps, and get back into things once you've had an opportunity to take a bit of a break. Lilia and Shy, how are you going to celebrate this success in high after all the trials of tribulations you've been put through this season?
We'll be seeing you
Excessively
next week
drink.
for scrims.
Excessively drink, and what did you say, Lilia?
We'll be seeing you next week for scrims.
Oh no, because why did
That's
I
right.
sign up? Why did I sign up to Merc on this or trial rather? Trial for this team. I can't wait. Catfish, you were the last to join. If you were to be head admin again, would you get rid of Banny config?
No, I wouldn't. Actually, no, I probably would, but not because of that game. That game was it was long as fuck, and I'm fucking tired. But it was really fun, very back and forth.
All right, wonderful. We have the high awards.
Wow.
Thank you, voice in my ear.
Content. Yeah, let's do it. Run that.
Seasonal voting. You actually have a graphic up? Can you believe it? Shout out to Hawk in chat, sending these through. He actually has compiled this in time for stream to have a look at.
The placements. Hang on.
Yeah, Hawk, a little bit of bias there potentially. Congratulations, Dante, most improved. Always knew you could do it. As well as the most kills, most assists, and most deaths on Scout.
Oh, well, what can I say? I like to make stuff happen.
He merked for us every game, that's why.
Awesome. Well, you guys in chat will shortly be able to have a look at these stats very shortly, as they will be posted in ozfortress if they haven't already. But yeah.
Not in that server, I don't think.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, production, for fixing the little error on the placements there. Any final remarks, Dante?
Good season, guys. As a player who played in that season, and I've merked for you guys, I had a lot of fun playing with you. I really liked playing against you guys and with you guys, like when I was. High was a bit of a strange season. Like some teams burgered, some teams didn't. Pun unintended for the team that came second. But I think it was a good season. It was my first season back after a while. People played good. Scrims like kind of went smoothly, and when they didn't, I feel like we kind of all rolled with it. So yeah, congratulations, Yellow Rat, for the golden dub. Unfortunate to Blank's Burgers, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. GG.
Sure is. Shout out to Mitch on the cam. Shout out for Hef for keeping chat entertaining for those people who trudged their way through this insane 3.5 hour match. And shout out to the players. You guys put on a great performance. I'll get some shout outs from Catfish and some shout outs from Lilia, and then we'll end things there. Lilia, you want to start things off?
Shout outs to my team for sticking it out in what is arguably like my worst season of all time, with all of the shit that we had to deal with. Shout out to my friends. Shout out to the demo man of Willie's Angels, who probably thought we were going to lose, but many praises, many thanks. That's it.
And Catfish to round off the stream.
Shout out to our team for a good season. Shout out to the other team for a good final. All the other teams who played in high, it was a fun season. Shout out to Swan Hill. Shout out to the Wigan. He's gone through a rough time right now. My thoughts are with him, and that's all. Thank you.
Wonderful. So yeah, it's been CappingTV's coverage of the High Grand Final. Yellow Rat is the victor in this best of 5, going to 5 games. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to pick up some spectator tickets for the upcoming Land Down Under tournament, and we will see you next time.
GG.
Next week.
GG.
Thank you very much for watching.
GG's.
GG.
Really fun game, honestly. It was so